The high quality.
High quality indeed. GreenSpirit, are you ready
Hello.
for some Nova Cup action?
I am ready, Mr. Pennywise.
Excellent, fam. Excellent. My mask has kind of morphed into a growth on the side of my body, which I think is kind of better this way for everyone concerned. Like it keeps my non-clown head cool, which is important to keep a cool head, especially when being starved, actually. And also it looks kind of nice there. My little kind of Siamese clown twin growing out of my shoulder there. Very, very nice.
I see. Well, sadly I can't see you right now, so I'm already looking forward to see it on the stream in a couple minutes. But
Your costume's looking very nice as well, by the way, I must say. You'll see that as well in about 5 minutes' time, I guess.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy you're wearing a costume today. I was kind of disappointed that you were not wearing one yesterday.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, it was the Halloween Cup after all, so if I had worn a costume, that would have been probably quite funny, but it was just my usual white made-up face, red hair, red nose. That's just the ketchup, you see. You eat a little bit too much ketchup on every meal, and it kind of tints your hair and your nose a little bit. It's a bit of a downside, but what can I say? It's just so delicious ketchup.
Yeah, especially if you're not using a knife and a fork while eating, then it's kind of easy to get the ketchup on your nose, right?
100%. But Green, we've got some games on offer today. The first one, we have some absolute nerds who've named themselves Pi squared divided by 6. That's Julian and Aviator.
Overbuilt and stuff, and more overbuilt and stuff, yes.
Yeah, but they can do it with a mathematical twist. Amazing. And they're up against the instigating shitbags, which is Drakia and FC Lucy. Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty nice matchup. I'm already looking forward to see it.
Do you have any favorites there at all?
Well, it's hard to say because I'm kind of biased. Because obviously Julian sucks.
I mean Julian does suck. That's obvious.
Yeah, so I think the instigating shitbags should have an edge in the 2v1. But I don't know, Aviator is a pretty good player, so there is a chance.
Yeah, that he can kind of make the 2v1 work.
Yeah, but he can carry the dead weight.
Yeah, and the dead weight. Yeah. That's reasonable. If anyone can do it, Aviator can for sure. And I guess we're expecting... This is Aviator after all, so we're definitely expecting either Mimic or Ogre on 7 in every game. There's no other way, basically. There just is no other way.
I would actually be surprised if he went for a more scaling approach. Yeah. But with Julian's type of playstyle, that might also be a thing. If Julian goes for like some Fiesta and Starve, that Aviator is going for a more scaly approach. Since, or generally, that he eats more and scales a bit, while Julian stays overvalued. Yeah. As we all know and love.
I mean, it's just the most high-octane gameplay imaginable. You get a send, you don't push a worker, you don't spend your Mythium, you get another send, you don't push a worker, you don't spend your Mythium, and then 4 waves later you just send Siege Ram Wave 8. Well, and everybody claps. Everybody claps, because they're so happy with your genius game plan.
Absolutely. I mean, Penny, let me ask you a question. Do you think having value is bad?
I mean, value is good, right? Like, value holds waves, and if you hold waves, you don't lose your king HP, and if you don't lose your king HP, you don't lose the game.
Exactly. Value is nice, it gives you a warm feeling, so I can't really judge Julian for loving the value so much.
Yeah. He's fond of a bit of the old value, is our Julian. He's certainly partial to a bit of value here and now, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing your costume and the picture you picked out for me.
Yeah.
I sent you that one in private.
Oh.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to show.
It's pretty nice. How do you feel about your caster bio, by the way? Oh, I'm still showing Optimus bio, and he's not joining us just yet. So let me actually hide that one for now. Professional caster, by the way.
Loves Slime Waifu a bit too much and has a life-size body pillow made in her likeness. I'm a little bit confused that this hex is on my side and not on yours. Is that kind of a mix-up?
I mean, who do you think made the body pillow?
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
So, Green, Lucy and Drakir, always the bridesmaids, never the brides. I think they've been in the finals 3 or 4 times now, and never won once. Is October their month to win?
I mean, it might be. Like, they have a pretty easy matchup here.
Yeah, 2v1 against Aviator.
Exactly, and maybe they're gonna be lucky in the finals.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. We have the 2 most winning teams facing each other in the opposite semi. That's being casted by Shadowwings and Offner right now. So one of the kind of long-time winners will be knocked out in the semis, meaning the winner of this semi only has to face either King Dans and Widdowson or X-God and Shay. Both pretty easy teams to beat, right?
Oh yeah, that sounds absolutely easy.
And then they take home the crown. So, you know, sounds pretty simple to me, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah,
I would say. All right. Do you think our players are ready?
I'm just asking them now in the lobby. We should be able to get game number 1 underway very shortly. And I do expect Ogres on 7, but I think either way, this is going to be a pretty interesting series. All 4 players, except Julian, who's like a bit of a minus player, are very highly skilled, and they should be able to put on one heck of a show for us today. So I'm excited.
Maybe we'll see some pings from Aviator on Julian's lane.
Yeah, he can kind of tell him where to build and what to send, and maybe he can ping his worker button, and then Julian won't be plus 300 every wave while auto sending.
Yeah, that might be quite helpful.
Yeah,
but I'm actually not too sure if it's gonna be Ogre games. I expect it too, but I can see a world where Aviator goes a bit more for the scaling while Julian enables him.
Well, I think we don't need to keep guessing anymore because, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, game number 1 of this October Nova Cup semi-final is underway.
Let's go. I'm already curious what masterminds they're going to pick. I really want to see Fiesta here.
I would love to see a Fiesta from Lucy, actually. That is pretty much all she plays on the ladder lately. So
I want to see a Fiesta from either team. Like, both Aviator and Julian are capable of pulling it off too. Yep. So we have Creditor.
Double cash out. And that's agreed from Lucy. That's a shame.
Wow.
I definitely expect to see a Fiesta in this game at some point. In this series, I should say.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed, I gotta say. Like,
wow.
That's kind of boring from these players.
Well, Aviator at least takes YOLO, so he's at least got some balls, you know?
Yeah.
It's not completely zero ball gaming.
I agree. What do you think about his role, though?
I mean, his role it's interesting. He's got a lot of pierce damage. I mean, he's got the slime waifu, so you should be happy about that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But he goes for a double Tempest opener, which is maybe stronger than a slime waifu, but certainly less slimy.
I think it's not, to be honest. Like, he could also go slime waifu aqua, and that's a pretty safe 6-worker opener.
And Julian is going with a 5-worker Windhawk start, not scared to receive a snail on 1, which luckily he does not. he will leak, and Aviator and Burnt both try-harding from the very start of this game, saving their Mythium, knowing that Julian will leak here with his Windhawk opener. They'll get their 40 cents out.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't add more value to his lane. That's kind of out of character for him.
I mean, Aviator presumably pinging his units, pinging his worker button, just letting his teammate know what to do. Like, he does need to carry this 1-2v1 after all.
That's true.
But unfortunately, Julian not as skilled as his teammate, as you can see from the fact that he leaked 2 creeps here instead of just 1. Aviator would have leaked 1 creep for sure.
For sure. Yeah, Julian's role is kind of interesting because he has the Flying Force with the Wild Room as well and the Fist.
Yep.
I think that's pretty strong. And he also has Ocean Templar Gates, which is also strong, but I feel both of these things don't work too well together. Because you actually need some more tank value for either of them to work.
Yeah.
So I hope he doesn't fall into the trap of like building both, but rather just ditches something.
All players still have their reroll available, so there will be options hopefully later on in the game.
Yeah, true.
And Julian still saved his Mythium, by the way, so this is going to be an 80 send now on wave 3 against Lucy, who does drop the Necromata. Very strong on wave 3 in general, but also very strong against a Fiend, so let's see what happens here against
Lucy already pushed to 5 workers as well.
Very nice, so she wasn't scared that Julian was saving.
Yeah. I would expect her to do reasonably well here.
Alright, so we have this 80 send. Atom, very, very strong unit, by the way. Fiend is attacking the Necromata, which is helpful. Neither of the Atoms taking damage until now, where it tanks the split. Necromata is down, and Fiend is not tanking. Oh, until now.
Now. Oh. Yeah, if it didn't tank, she probably would have cleared nearly everything. Yeah. That would have been really, really good for her. Like this, it's not the best.
Drakia does hold his lane, but only barely. Doesn't really cover anything in the mid. We do see a little bit of king damage, but that is first blood on the side of Burnt and Aviator, shaving a little bit of HP off the king of the instigating shitbags.
Yeah, you can already see that Julian is going for the enabling type of playstyle.
Yeah.
Staying on value.
I think that's a fairly standard thing to do. Like, if your teammate is much higher skill than you are, you just try to enable them as much as possible, right?
Yeah, exactly. We see that on the ladder quite frequently.
Oh, this really hurts, though, by the way. So Julian was actually forced to sell his Oathbreaker here for minus 40% in order to get his Violet out on wave 4. Now, this should make him hold the wave, but that really hurts to lose so much gold this early in the game. That really hurts.
Yeah, that's like 30-something gold, right?
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't even hold. He still leaks, even with the Oathbreaker cell. This is super punishing for Julian now. He's going to be so far behind in game.
I'm really not sure if that was worth it.
No.
Probably doesn't. It's probably better to just build a Growl in the position that he was in.
Yeah.
Like, he had the gold for it. He would obviously leak pretty bad, but
I mean, he still leaked quite bad, and that was after selling the I think it's 38 gold you lose for selling an Oathbreaker. So, I mean, that's just really, really bad. He's lost more than 50 altogether with the leak as well.
Yeah, you're correct. It's 38. Yeah. On the other hand, the way he built now, he can push more freely than if he built the Growl, I would say.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah, and that's also a 14 gold loss.
Meanwhile, Aviator received a full send here from Drakia. I think he'll leak the Brute, and maybe only the Brute, but he's perfectly fine with that.
That's pretty good for them, because we have this amount of Mythium saved up already. And Julian is pretty good on wave 6 with his Violet. Less pressure on Aviator.
Yeah.
And they're saving for the famous Ogre on 7.
I mean, we called it before we even got into the game, dude. I mean, it's Aviator, it's Wave 7, it's Ogre type.
Name a more iconic duo. Yeah, Penny, I was doubting it, but you were absolutely right in the end. So we have income from Drahir and Lucy that might even leak Julian, which will be pretty bad for Lucy and Drahir, to be honest.
Yeah, if Julian leaks this Ashton send, then he's gonna... It's just extra time for their Mythium. Aviator's already on 190 Mythium, Julian on 150. The send is going to be enormous when it does come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he is leaking the send. There's no way he's killing the Ashton.
Nope. I don't even think he kills these other Roccos, so the leak actually not that small. He would have liked to kill this one more creep at least, and he would have been very happy, I think, with that Rocco kill. But as is, like, Aviator is going to cover very, very slowly. We might even see Ashton making it to the King, and the wave is just lasting forever. Aviator has 220 Mythium. There's that Ogre. We called it at the start of the game. We see it here now. He'll even be able to send a Brute post-income as well. Drakir and Lucy, how do you answer these massive sends on Wave 7?
Well, there is no answer. Like, Drakir could sell a steed to build a Trinity Archer, but that's also not too great.
I think
they should have had the read that it's going to be 7 because it's Aviator. But even if Drakir shifts for the Trinity Archer against the sand of this size, still going to be leaking.
Ooh,
but way less.
Lucy has the bunk though, and that is a mimic from Julian, not an ogre. So Drakir, expecting the mimic himself, he actually hardens a Mudman, but the ogre's going to absolutely demolish that hardened Mudman in no time. But Lucy, with this banana bunk, which she did manage to get out, I'm not sure if she had to sell for that.
And she's sniping the mimic.
And she snipes the mimic.
Lucy is just fine. Lucy is just holding.
That's incredible.
That's
will
really good.
He's getting a few creeps killed, most of them, in fact, out of the wave. So that's only a 74%. It could have been much worse. And Lucy full holds against the mimic snails from Julian.
Well, this puts the other team in a pretty rough spot because Julian has suffered a lot during this game so far. As we predicted beforehand, that it's going to be a 1v3 for Aviator. And from now on, the suffering is just going to continue. Like, this really didn't give them enough of a reward.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an ogre leaking to the king.
I think Lucy did have to sell a few of her tier 1s to get the banana bunk out, but very worth it. Like, this is just completely not comparable to the Oathbreaker sell on 4. This was so valued for Lucy there to sell a couple of units for that bunk, holding her send, and even covering a decent chunk in the mid as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely worth for her to do that. So when do you think the next send is coming from Drakir and Lucy? Like, Aviator is going for some scaling now after the send didn't work out.
Yeah.
Which will give Drakir and Lucy some breathing time. Their counter attack
might leak to this 120 resend, by the way.
Yeah, he very well might.
Mudman.
And he's 120 under.
120 under, yeah.
It's
not too bad. If Ilis can get one more spell, it does, which enables him to kill...
one more?
Only one more unit, but still, one more. So 42%, I mean, that's fine.
But at this point, it's kind of just time for them as well, because they're in the position now where they have the pressure on the other team. And Julian felt forced to send as well. There's another income sent from Aviator as well. And to me, it looks like Drakir and Lucy might consider Wave 10 as a sending option, even though there's Creditor. Because Aviator looks very
good against Burns.
Yeah, and Aviator looks incredibly weak on Wave 10. I'm not sure if they're gonna do that after they receive this send here. They might not like the idea because of Predator, but I feel like it's the better play to go 10.
Yeah, they're both very vulnerable on 10. Very, very vulnerable on 10. And there's no offensive option for 11, so at best case they force them off the Creditor, but they just take allowance and presumably hold this end, or at least do very well against it.
So I think, we have income sense from Julian and Aviator as well, because they know how bad they are on 10.
Yep.
And we can see 2 ogres as a little bit of a gift after the wave 7 ogre.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't ogre me, I'll ogre you!
Yeah, I'll just ogre you! Exactly, Penny.
And it's looking like it might be all ogre for Julian and Aviator.
Feel like it might be. Like, Aviator is close to value, but he's really not too great here. Like, he has some good units, but also some absolutely useless ones.
And the ogres are so amazing against Leviathans. They just tank all of the passive machine gun shots, save so much HP on the boss. He's not even going to kill the ogre either, so that looks like a pretty bad leak. Meanwhile, in Julian's lane, a similar story. A boss, an ogre leaking on partial HP.
Yeah, these leaks are huge. Like, it's not that huge HP-wise on the bosses, but economically it's incredibly huge.
There's even a hermit there healing everything along the way down to the king. 2 ogres wailing away. This is so much damage dealt.
Yeah. So here and Lucy leaked a bit too, but it's not really worth mentioning.
It's not even in the same ballpark. Like, Julian and Aviator now down to 25% HP. A big worker lead on the side of Drakir and Lucy, mainly due to Julian being pretty out of the game. He did starve quite a lot in the early game, trying to put pressure on Lucy, but we saw him forced to sell an Oathbreaker there on wave 4, still leaking big, and his economy is just really suffering as a result.
Yeah, look at this Penny. So
look this way.
Here and look this, bruh. So Rahir and Lucy went for the Creditor after the 10 cent, but I kind of like the idea of Julian and Aviator. They decided to take Embargo, which is also a very strong spell, and they're kind of behind. They don't really. It doesn't really make too much sense to go for credit, in my opinion. Because you kind of have to. Find an unconventional way to win or catch like the enemy off guard.
What I will say is very interesting here is Julian shifted more than 200 gold, so maybe faking Creditor himself, hoping to bait a send out of Drakir and Lucy on wave 12. That might be their path to victory, but I just don't know if it's going to work. I don't think Drakir and Lucy.
I don't think they're going to send, and I don't think he's necessarily baiting the 12 cent, but he's baiting for them to think that they credit.
Yeah.
So that they don't know that there's embargo.
Reasonable. Right.
I mean, they will see it by wave 13, but it's always nice to keep as much info hidden as possible.
Yeah, it looks like both Drakir and Lucy are not feeling threatened. They're still going to fully shift their Creditor on wave 12. In fact, Drakir shifting 300 gold.
Yeah. Oh, he still added a bit.
Last second, he added a little Pegasus, little Steve.
Yeah. So, when do you think Aviator and Julian are going to set?
They would maybe go 13, but Drakir and Lucy having credited twice, if they just full build 13, it's an easy hold. But here comes the send. There's a Kraken from Aviator, an Ogre, and a Mole from Julian. But Lucy's just going to be on value when she finishes.
I actually did not expect them to send here, because both Julian and Aviator are kind of fine here. Maybe they're not the best. But, for I don't know. It's kind of a weird play. I guess they're expecting Lucy and Drakir to feel too safe or to greed for cred, which both of them do.
Oh, they both greed. Okay. So they could... Lucy could have been fully on value, but she decided to opt for the Creditor shift. Maybe she's going to be punished for that then.
And she's very bad on the wave as well, right? So this is a really big leak.
Really big leak.
Drakir is not holding either.
Well, we were wondering how Aviator and Burnt come back into the game. This might be the start of that path to victory, but they still have a hill to climb. Like, this is going to be a ton of king damage here, but I don't think it kills Drakir and Lucy. Instigating shitbags, so. And they saved their Mythium here, crucially, so now the pressure is back in their side, and they can choose when the next send happens.
Yeah, I think this was a pretty good play. Like, yeah. Playing to their outs, and it worked because Lucy and Drakir agreed it, as Julian and Aviator hoped.
Yep.
But I feel like with the Mythium advantage and the pressure advantage that Lucy and Drakir have now, it's
looking pretty rough for Julian and Aviator. Yeah. Although Aviator's still overvalued, actually. He's so fed in this game. Like, obviously Julian's really struggling, but Aviator's been snowballing.
Yeah, but Julian is also like nearly on value now. I guess the safest way to kill them would be 16, but here and Lucy are already more undervalued than Julian and Aviator.
They are.
And they pushed on 13, so and Lucy just pushed one more. So Lucy's suiciding.
Okay, so they're going here. The question is, do Julian and Aviator see this coming, and will they send themselves, or are they going to save? Looks like they save. Oh no, there's a full send actually. Full send from Julian and Aviator, so they're going for the race.
Yeah,
look at this. Julian has the Ocean Templar canopy circle. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of seeing Ocean Templar canopies on the new Wave 15, but they are absolutely broken. They're not quite Phoenix level of power, but they just don't die. Like, the boss pretty much heals the canopies when the Ocean Templar is on them.
That's true. I've seen it, and it's incredible. But it is quite a huge send, though.
Well, Lucy has gone full suicide, and Drakir is very low in value as well, but the problem is he has that Hades with a ton of steeds. So I guess we're about to find out. Massive amounts of Mythium for Julian and Aviator to deal with. 840, 880, much smaller sends on the other side, but of course they have a big value advantage, so this is going to be a pretty close race, I think.
Yeah, Drakir is holding, so that's very good for Drakir and Lucy.
Oh wow, Drakir full holds. That is, okay, that's very clutch, but so's Aviator.
But so does Aviator.
And so's Julian.
And so does Julian.
Down but not out. The Oathbreaker boy somehow being able to hold this massive 800 Mythium send on 15, and I think that's just game. Drakir, he holds his own lane, but he's not holding two.
What a comeback.
What a comeback.
Huh.
Wow.
I actually did not expect them to lose the game, even after 13.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Drakir.
Have we buried them too early?
Pretty much held two.
Wow, it is a resend.
There's full resend from everybody.
All the players.
And Julian, true to his nature, by the way, I have to point out, he has as many as 11 workers here, and it's only Wave 16. I think this might be a new record for him. Previously, he's never had more than 10 on Wave 16, I think.
I also love to see it, I gotta say. But this is looking very grim for
Julian is plus 250 value, Aviator plus 95, and both Drakir and Lucy, especially Lucy, heavily undervalued.
Yeah, when you go for a suicide play and it doesn't work out, the game is pretty much over.
Yeah. And of course Drakir hardened his two Mudmen last wave, so that's another mark against him here. Julian, for some reason, actually pushed 4 workers. Surely he knows that Lucy had suicided, so he could have just built instead. If there's one thing Das Malmesser likes doing, it's building.
He probably heard us bully him, so he decided to push to new heights.
Peer pressure's a hell of a drug.
Workers. Yeah. That's
Drakir's doing pretty well. Aviator does leak. Julian, the holder, Oathbreaker boy.
The Oathbreaker boy. Yeah, so what an interesting turn of events. Like I really, really liked the embargo play, and it worked exactly as they wanted.
That was very smart, I have to say.
Like it was kind of the only out, I think, because maybe I'm wrong there, but I like the play instead of Predator.
Let me draw your attention to the win probability graph. It really paints a picture of this game here. So very back and forth in the early game, and then a big lead from wave 7 all the way to wave 15 is on the side of Drakir and Lucy. And you do see the win probability take a big spike back towards the centre after that wave 13, where they got a ton of king damage done. And then, obviously, with the holds on 15, it starts to go in favour of Aviator and Burnt. And then we see end of game on 16 with that resend. Really nicely played. They absolutely dug themselves out of a hole in this one.
Yeah, I mean, that game looked absolutely grim. And I think it's a really nice viewer experience. Well, also for me as a caster, because it's very interesting to see a game that's absolutely lost get turned around like this. Because I think like a lot of players feel like they enjoy the game less when they feel like it's already lost. But that's just a demonstration that no matter how lost a game might seem, often there's still a way to play to your outs. And if you do that frequently enough, you might turn around a lot more games than you would assume.
Yeah. I mean, my normal tactic when I'm behind in a game like that is to just complain again and again and again.
And to type FF.
Yeah, and to type FF. But maybe if I took a tactic like this, it might work out better for me in the long run. Very nicely played there from Burnt and Aviator, taking a 1-0 lead in our best of 3 series.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Hop into the next lobby.
Yeah, we're all there waiting for you, Penny. But we know you're an old. We know you're an old man. Take your time.
All right, so we should be able to get into game number 2 once the players are ready. And I mean, this was a very close match. So we did see Aviator and Burnt take it in the end, but I think Drakir and Lucy were heavily favoured throughout most of that game. So clever play getting Burnt and Aviator a win from the jaws of defeat there. But I certainly think Drakir and Lucy can take this series to a tie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they absolutely outplayed them the entire early game, and then it was just one turning point on 13. And after that, Lucy's role was also just kind of lacking. She was not really great on 16 either, and here wasn't either. So they kind of had to go 15, I think.
Yeah.
And they were just in a very weird spot after that 13 cent.
Well, let's find out. Can Drakir and Lucy tie the series? Game number 2. And we see Lucy with a Fiesta pickup.
Yeah.
So
Julian is in kind of an interesting spot. He picked YOLO, rolled the Porta, but no mask. Is it a reroll for the mask, or is it not?
I think it's a reroll for a mask. But to be fair, he does have a ranged unit with that Polywog, so you can still kite the wave, kind of the way you want to. It's just not quite the same as a mask.
Yeah. I mean, the mask is better by far. They're here obviously more skilled than Julian, rolling the Priestess and the mask.
And the mask. Drakir, very skilled player, in fact.
Yeah.
Oh. And Drakir is snail. Oh, look at this. What an interesting turn of events. Aviator, sniffing the Fiesta, is snailing into Lucy, who I assume will start with Fiesta Pixies. But Drakir, he's snailing into Aviator, who's starting with Cartel Nightmare. This is a very big early game advantage already for Burnt and Aviator, I feel. It's 6 free gold for Aviator, who obviously holds the Snail's End, and 6 free gold for Julian, who obviously holds the Snail's End. Meanwhile, Lucy is getting her Pixie Fiesta snailed, so she's going to leak 58% to that.
Yeah, she will. Cheeky Drakir PM'd me, knowing I see his roll. You like what you see? They're here being known for the most skilled player at rolling.
Yeah, he's very good at rolling. Very good.
Yeah, just the highest skilled player at rolling.
Drakir obviously able to cover his Fiesta teammates' leaks. There's no problems there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's also like a really nice combo. The Porta mask with the Fiesta, you can just push the workers, still be safe, and really profit from the long waves.
And it looks like Aviator is not sending again on wave 2, so maybe Lucy will actually, because she's building quite a lot, I think she just holds the no send.
I think she leaks.
I think with this Harpy, I think she just holds, but she added 3 seedlings, that's quite a lot of HP.
Yeah, but these units are pretty useless, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but it's close at least.
Maybe she does leak after all. She is the Fiesta.
Fiesta leak, Mr. Pennywise.
Pretty clean. So Aviator, I thought he was being very smart not to resend here on wave 2, but actually Lucy, she knows her Fiesta.
Yeah.
Oh, Burnt. Look how hard he's trying here in game number 2. A Brute already sent against Drakir's Priestess build. The thing is, he's going to be quite sad when he sees Drakir. Oh, Drakir, he actually adds an Echo. I thought he would just do a False Maiden here.
I'm also a little bit confused by the Neko.
Yeah.
But he is easily gonna hold with it.
Yeah, with an Echo, I think it's just an easy hold. The Brute is more damage against the Priestess, but he just has so much value on his strongest wave. I think there's no way he loses.
Yeah. I guess he might have smelled that he's gonna get a full send here, because Lucy is rather weak here, and obviously
she's doing very fine,
can easily be leaked. Yeah, because she added the Wild Shroom, right? That the enemy could not see.
Actually, Drakir will leak the Brute, so it wasn't
That's
quite
very unfortunate. But it's still fine. Lucy is just getting the perfect Fiesta.
I think she holds.
Oh.
She holds.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, 1 hopper on 3 would have been just very, very juicy for her.
Oh yeah. So, what are we looking at now? I'm curious how Lucy is gonna play this, because he has a really, really nice role, and Julian's playing Porta as well, a high pushing opener. If she decides to enable the here and goes for a Mimic on 7, there's just nothing Julian has in his role to deal with that.
There's a post-income Brute from Julian, expecting Drakir not to build here on wave 4, which he guessed correctly. Drakir added only 1 mask, so we might see a bit of a leak from Drakir on wave 4, actually. And Lucy looking pretty big there, 79%. The Priestess does get off another heal, which kills 2 more chickens. But still, a leak. This is going to be a decent amount of king damage here.
Oh yeah, this early in the game, the Brute is just smacking the king up. It's incredible. Like, you can really feel every punch. Like, the screen is practically shaking when he punches the king.
They're all the way down to 68% HP. They're not even good enough to stabilize at 69. Unfortunate there for Drakir and Lucy.
That's huge. And they're sending. I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest.
Burnt builds a Slime Mommy here on wave 5. I mean, with Priestess, with his value, 515 value with a Priestess, I think he can pretty much build whatever he wants on wave 5 and hold.
Yeah, he's just gonna be fine.
And Aviator adds the Sand Badger for wave 5. Did nobody tell him that you're meant to start with that and then add something to kill the Scorpion?
Yeah, apparently he didn't get the memo, but he... Oh, what's happening here?
But Burnt just very easily holding. Slime Mommy got full mana, so gets the 3 little slime summons. That's no bother for him at all. And Aviator, this looks like either a hold or leaking just the Ashton. It's pretty close. And
It is old.
Aviator now, 11 workers, currently wave 6. Julian wave 10, which I believe is about the same number of workers he had on wave 16 in the previous game. So he's managed to get there 10 waves earlier.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm kind of surprised about this Cannoneer sense on 5. Like, they took a lot of king damage there, and I feel like in that position the wave goal was to go for a 7th cent.
I feel like they probably just wanted income to try and scale. I don't think they were expecting leaks, really, per se. So maybe if they had wanted leaks, they would have gone straight wave 6. Or even 7, like you say.
Yeah, I just don't feel like the scaling approach was that good in this position.
Yeah.
It just allows Julian and Aviator to go.
Oh, it's currently wave 7. Aviator's in the game. Of course there's a Mimic Send. Of course.
Yeah, it just allows things like this, right?
Yeah.
Like heavy pushes and hard punishes.
Yep. Now, Drakir did build a Hellraiser, but he only built it here on wave 7, so it doesn't have Tantrum. He does, however, have a 7-stack Necromata, so he's not terrible here. And Julian can't really afford something like a Brute to join the Mimic, so it's only a Snail. Let's see. I think Drakir can do pretty well here, but the Mimic is getting a lot of value. Look at those +3s.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a good chance that he clears everything except for the Mimic.
Yeah.
But
Echo is down. That's another +3.
Yeah. And he pretty much does clear everything.
He does clear everything apart from that.
Oh.
12 gold for Julian's Mimic, 54% leak for Drakir, and Lucy, she is getting a
Oh. She's getting a very, very clean Fiesta. I think that's
she's very happy with that, leaking only the lizards here.
Well, I think both can be happy with this. If Drakir just got one more of the sludges, would have been pretty good. But yeah, I can see why they wanted to scale. It's just they are quite behind in workers right now.
Yeah.
And Aviator is just keeps scaling. He's playing Cartel though, so
Aviator is very ahead actually. 15 workers here.
Yeah. But he will fall off slightly after 10. It's like he really read that Lucy is gonna be playing Fiesta. Like Cartel is quite nicely profiting from the very long waves in the early game. Like he just knew. Picking Cartel and going for the snail. And we have a scent on Lucy, and she will leak, but it honestly is not looking too bad. It's a 50% leak, but
50% leak there. That was a full send from Aviator. Here comes another Mimic from Burnt, actually.
And how will Drakir answer that? I guess he's just getting his area, yeah.
So he'll have his area, he'll have 50 more gold, so he can just add a little slime or a couple more masks, but he goes Halo, actually.
Not going for the Azaria.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he's expecting 10. And I don't hate this in general, because if he builds the Azaria, he basically has no tank value at all. But I think he's going for a bit of a leak here.
I think he might have a little bit of a leak problem, yeah. And there's a lot of +3s there as well for the Mimic.
Yeah.
So the Priestess is still ranking very well, actually. Does finally go down, but it survived a long time.
True, it did. But he is definitely leaking. Luckily, Lucy realized that and stayed very close to value.
And Lucy now taking the worker lead, but not only that, the instigating shipheads have a very big Mythium stockpile going on here. There's 320 for Lucy already, 250 for Drakir. I wonder when they decide to send. Will it be Wave 10, or do they even go longer? No, Wave 10 Siege Ram there from the FC Lucy.
Oh, that's huge. And I really, really like it. Like, Julian's also just quite weak here. But the thing is, Aviator isn't. And I really don't... I'm really unsure if the send that he's receiving will cause a leak.
Aviator is very strong here. He's not only got a doppelganger and an Avenger with an APS and a Dark Mage, but he also has plus 10 value, very good tanks with the Royal Guards. I mean, yeah, I expect Aviator to just full hold here.
Yeah, I would expect the same. But Julian should be leaking very decently.
Oh yeah, so Julian's killing nothing.
This should result in
he gets the Siege Ram down, and the Imps actually. That's probably about as good of a result as Julian could hope for here.
Yeah, that's true, but it's a nearly full HP king, so it's basically round 2 for Aviator, and his Doppel died.
But Aviator does hold, okay, and Drakir leaks to the income king's end. Okay, but they did prepare for this as well. They have got very strong king upgrades, and that Granddaddy just dying super, super quickly. So very little king damage taken.
I was kind of expecting them get slightly more king damage in with a boss this healthy.
But look at this as well. Look this. Burnt and Aviator, they send income lizards, baking out that lizard army, and presumably want to take one of the other Legion options.
Yeah, I mean, Aviator really likes going for this play. I'm curious if Lucy and here will spot it.
I mean, they can check their recommended value and maybe it gives it away.
It's quite hard to spot though, right? Especially if gold is being shifted, which Julian is doing. So on wave 12, it's definitely gonna look like an aggressive option with the shift that Julian just did there. Did you see that? And on wave 13...
Yeah, he shifted so much gold, actually.
Yes, she shifted 300 gold to fake it even more properly. I really like that play by him.
Yeah, it's going to put a lot of recommended value on Drakir, right? So then the lizard army looks real. It's very clever.
So on 12 it will look real, and on 13 you can't spot it anymore.
Yeah. And actually Drakir and Lucy took lizard army for real, so...
Oh yeah. Did you spot if they pushed to the lizard or not?
They did not.
Okay, let's see.
So, yeah. Drakir's recommended value showing that he's 200 under. Lucy showing minus 100, but she's very high value.
Alright. So... How do you... I mean, with them picking Lizard Army, I guess obviously they want 13.
Yeah.
How well do you think Julian and Aviator are going to perform there? Like,
I mean, Aviator's plus 135. He can build either the Sovereign or a Doomsday on 13. He's got really solid options. Julian has Titan, Azeria, and also, which he did show, by the way. So,
and
given the game.
Also showing like the Yuzora and has an Arctire. I feel like both of them are just should easily be holding here.
I mean, this is just his strongest wave. The danger will be if he gets his Azeria killed too quickly, so we'll have to keep an eye on her. If she needs to survive the initial onslaught from the golems, right? If she does, this should be an easy hold for Julian. If she dies before getting off that second or third heal, then he's probably leaking quite badly.
Yeah, I agree. And the bait worked. I think Drakir and Lucy were convinced that it's gonna be... that it's Lizard Army, that it's gonna be a 13 cent.
It all comes down to this heal. She does get it off in time. That should now be a hold. Or wait, is it? The Azeria dies! The Azeria is down, ladies and gentlemen. This will end up being a leak for Burnt. Aviator, though, he's easily holding.
Oh yeah. I mean, Aviator has value. Yeah, I think I don't hate it. It's like it's a Titan's area, and if you really want to hold, you kind of have to play it risky.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I think it was a fine play.
It was very close.
But more to the point, Aviator covers a ton of the damage in the mid, so they'll take very little king damage once again, same as wave 10. And crucially, they have the massive pressure advantage now. It's Aviator with nearly 700 Mythium, Julian with 500 of his own. This send, when it comes, will be massive, and they are free to choose when it happens.
I'm calling that it's 16.
16?
Now that I did it, they will send on another wave, because it's a caster's curse. I'm not allowed to call the wave, but I feel like it will be 16.
I think you're probably right. I think Julian is so strong on 15. Like, Aviator's not amazing there, but value is strong, and he's going to be on value.
Yeah. Drahir and Lucy are just way worse on 16 than they are on 15, and Aviator shifting some gold, trying to stay close to value on a wave that he's a little bit weaker on. And yeah, as you mentioned, Burnt is just strong there. And Drahir and Lucy have been kept down in workers for quite some time now, so there's not too much that they're going to be able to send.
And they're going for they are feeling scared of wave 15. They go for Income King, it looks like, which is just completely falling into Burnt and Aviator's hands.
Oh yeah, and they go for the wave 16 play. The only thing that I'm curious about is if they're actually going to be sending on 16, because, as you know, per law of Boon, with the income send that they're receiving here, with the Income King, it's actually illegal for them to send on the following wave. What do you think?
I think, if I'm honest, they can pretty much do whatever they want at this point. Like, this Income King just gives them such a free game. Like, they have no pressure on them. They can choose to send whenever they want. If they want to go 16, they already have over 1,000 Mythium on Aviator. If they want to go 17, they can go 17 as well. I think this game is all but won, I feel.
Yeah, I feel the same, but what you're basically saying is they would just go for an illegal move. Do you think that's very sportsmanlike behavior?
It would be very rude indeed, but I feel like it would be game-winning as well to send on 16.
So. I think so too, and I don't think it makes sense to. That doesn't necessarily make sense to save for 17.
Now let's see, we're about to find out as Burnt clears off those final few creeps from his wave. Do they send 16, or are they going to try even harder with a 17 send? It looks like they are.
The curse hits again. I mean, yeah, looking at it, I can also kind of see it, because Lucy has not shown the boars yet, and both of them look very weak 17.
Lucy looks like is preparing for 17, though. She's building red masks here, so they'll be tantrumed next. But she does kind of need some boars as well.
Yeah, I think she'll whip them out next wave.
She builds one.
Yeah, she's already showing one. Yeah, they're having the read on this game.
They are having the read, but I don't know if this read is going to save them, because look at these Mythium numbers already saved up for Burnt and Aviator. 1,000 now for Julian. Nearly 1,500 Mythium saved for Aviator. Yeah. These sends are going to be insane on wave 17.
I think it's just going to be all Ogre. It's going to be all Ogre, especially on Lucy's lane.
That's 3 Krakens, actually, from Aviator, so good call with the Ogre, but no, Krakens, actually, it is.
Well, I would be lying if I said I'm not absolutely confused by this send, but I guess
it's a bit of a strange one,
maybe it's a little bit like sending 8 Hermits.
Yeah.
Like a strategy King Dance would use, but against this, I'm not too sure why you would say
it doesn't look like the best send to me either, if I'm honest. But as I said before, I think when you're sending nearly 2,000 Mythium on wave 17, you can pretty much send what you want.
Yeah, that's true. Hence the 8 Hermits suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so 1,200 Mythium for Drahir, 1,000 740 Mythium for FC Lucy. She's minus 1200 value, and it looks like the Krakens are doing enough here on 17. She is leaking very badly. 215% leak for FC Lucy, and Drakir 146. Burnt leaks himself, but that simply doesn't matter because this looks like a very clean 2-0 sweep for the side of pi squared divided by 6, aka the Giga Nerds.
Yeah, well played by the Giga Nerds, I gotta admit.
And look at that sportsmanship as well, by the way. Drakir calling out good luck in the finals. Obviously disappointed to lose here in the semis. These guys cursed, it seems like, to always make it to day 2, but yet to take home a cup. So commiserations, Drakir and Lucy. They still managed to put on one hell of a show for us today. But it seems Burnt and Aviator had their number with a quick 2-0 sweep. And let's just have a quick flick through some of these wave screen. What do you think were the turning points?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think it went a little bit downhill on 4 already.
I think maybe a bit earlier than that. If you look at wave 1, Burnt and Aviator absolutely won the coin flip here. They both received snails. They snailed against the Fiesta player. I mean, they just got plus 6 gold each and another 6 gold from Lucy's leak. That's, you know, you're basically getting free cash out on top of your mastermind option already on wave 1. They just had a really nice... It couldn't have gone better for them from the very start of the game, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as I mentioned, I think Aviator generally had a good read on Lucy playing Fiesta this game. And so he generally picked the Cartel, which I think already gives you kind of an edge in that game, because I just feel like it's a very good option to be playing if there's a Fiesta in the game.
Yeah.
And then he also commits to it and snails Lucy on 1.
Yeah, very nice read, actually. And we did see Drakir and Lucy going for a bit of a Hail Mary with these 420 and 320 sends on 10. Aviator obviously holding his own lane. Burnt doing pretty well, like clearing off the siege round, clearing off the imps. And as a result, they took 19% king damage while receiving 740 Mythium combined. So that was already a big lead, I think, for Burnt and Aviator. And then they kind of do whatever they want. They accept the leak on 13, knowing that Aviator's strong enough to cover, and they go straight. Look at this, by the way. What was it? It was 10 into Fake Lizard into 17. That's absolutely filthy. Disgusting behaviour.
That's incredibly filthy. Yeah, I've seen a nice comment in the chat, by the way, where I can spot a misplay by Drakir and Lucy. They skipped wave 16. But actually the genius play would have been to send wave 16 to make it illegal to get sent on wave 17. And they are way better on wave 18 than they are on 17. That would have clearly been the play.
I mean, yeah, if they just send every wave, then Burnt and Aviator can never send, because as you say, it is illegal to send the wave after someone has sent to you.
Exactly. That should have been the play by that point in the game.
Yep. That's just an absolute blunder there from Drakir and Lucy. I can't believe they didn't find that path to victory there.
Yeah, I'm also very, very much surprised by that.
Yeah, bit of a weird one. But I think the other semi-final is also over. Let me just double check with Othma.
I'm curious who might have won that.
Let me see if I can view King Dan's profile. We will be able to see if there are... It looks like a 2-0 actually to King Dan's and Widdowson. So both semi-finals ending with a 2-0, meaning that we're going to have a bit of a break now before we go into the grand final. Okay. So Green, before we go on a break, let me just ask you, everybody in the chat obviously knows about your love for slime waifu body pillows, but how would you feel about having this cuddly little safety mole tucked away in there to keep you warm at night?
Oh, wow. A mole plushie? That just sounds amazing. I need that in my life.
Absolutely incredible. Did you know?
Dear Mr. Pennywise, could you tell me, how can I get such an incredible mole plushie?
It would be my honour to do so, because not only will you be able to buy it between 4th and 25th of November, limited time window, by the way, miss it and never buy one again, but on top of this, Auto Attack are giving you not one, but 2 methods of winning one without even having to spend a Pennywise. So, as per yesterday's stream, they're running a giveaway on the Twitter. You follow Auto Attack, you follow Makeship, you do a retweet, whatever one of those is. Obviously, we're both far too old to understand any of this nonsense. And then you'll be in with a chance to win. But for folk like you and me, who don't even know what a tweeter does, they're giving another chance to win a Safety Mole plushie and all of the in-game goodies that come with it.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
The campaign. It's just incredible, dude. So let me introduce to you guys in Twitch chat a giveaway in Twitch chat. Amazing! So
wow!
You guys can type !mole to enter into the raffle. That raffle will last for about half an hour to leave it open, give it time for everybody to get an entry in, and at the end of that we'll declare a winner. Someone in Twitch chat is going to win a Safety Mole plushie. Remember, if Twitter is your thing as well, follow on there, have another chance to win, and yeah, it's a mole bonanza!
Amazing. Yeah, I was close to instantly typing exclamation mark mole in the chat myself, forgetting about the delay and getting way too excited about the cute little plushie. Couldn't hear us trash talk?
Now they can. All right. Welcome back, guys. Very exciting Safety Mole plushie giveaway. Let me remember to actually start the giveaway. I'm doing a giveaway with a 5-minute delay, which is no mean feat, though I say so myself. Hopefully this timing works out for you guys and it's not too disjointed. All right. Giveaway has started. Green, make sure you get your own entry in as well, by the way.
Well, I'm the first one.
And
there we go.
I think we should also take a bit of a break now, give our contestants 5-10 minutes to relax in between games while you guys enter the raffle, and we will see you back here 10 minutes time, ready for the grand finals of the October Cup. Don't go anywhere. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Are we good? Ah, I see. Hello, hello, Mr. Rothman.
Oh.
Where? Alright, Mr. Pennywise. So, we're currently on a break, Hoffman.
Roger.
Yeah, and everyone can hear us, so don't jump straight to insulting everyone as you normally would.
Oh, okay. I'll restrain myself.
Thank you. But I think I will use the time to grab some water myself. So I will be back in 5.
Sounds good. I'll take the same. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Hello, Offma. We have Offma joining us now on the cast. If green wasn't enough, we also have another excellent caster, fresh from his other semi-final cast with Shadow Wings. So now we have a bit of a three-way going into the grand final, and what a final it's going to be, by the way, because this is King Dan's and Widdowson team Appreciate versus Pi Squared divided by 6, Burnt, Das Brot, and Aviator. This is going to be a pretty exciting match. I actually think Burnt and Aviator have a very good chance of taking down the King.
Oh yeah, I think so too. They showed some pretty good moves in the semifinals, and if they keep it up, they still got the moves. If they keep it up like that, they have a decent shot at it. And welcome, dear Offma. I'm glad to have you on the cast, to have a voice of reason with the trolls that you have on your side.
Well, you know me. Very reasonable. Never trolling.
Always serious.
Before we hop into this next game lobby, by the way, we do have a little bit of a competition winner to announce. I don't know if you guys have heard about the Legion TD2 skin design competition.
Oh, we've heard about it.
Excellent. Well, Twitch chat, folks at home, it is time to announce the winner of the skin design competition, and it is none other than, drumroll please, it's Dan Wolf with the Red Mask Bone Crusher. Congratulations, Dan Wolf. He's come up with this very cool Bowser-themed Bone Crusher, so the Crusher will be added into the game. The scourge of Wave 1 crabs and Italian plumbers all over the world. Very big congratulations there to Dan Wolf. He's also the recipient of a 10,000 Premium Essence prize. Very cool there for you. I hope all of you guys enjoyed the skin competition. Looking forward to having this model added into the game.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I'll probably buy it instantly.
Amazing. We'll have to see what the artist can do to turn this prototype drawing into a fully fledged skin, but that is going to be very cool when it happens either way. Okay, congratulations to Dan Wolf, but back to the tournament.
Alright, and I think we have everyone in the lobby already.
It certainly looks that way. We have King Dan's and Widdowson over on the left, that's Team Appreciate. They are up against Pi Squared divided by 6 on the right, that is Burnt and Aviator. And yeah, I certainly think this is going to be a close match. I really can't call it either way. I would love to see Burnt and Aviator take home the trophy, though. It's always about cheering for the underdogs with me.
I want them to win, because if they win, then I can say I lost to the best team in the tournament. So, what can I do?
Excellent.
Oh,
well, folks at home, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, here it is, the grand final of the October Nova Cup. Appreciate versus Pi Squared divided by 6. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see two cartels already, looking at AOA and Overwork in the game.
Yeah, there is GA too, though. So right. I still think it's very good, but at least there's some form of defense on the table.
Yeah.
So let's see. King Dan's just has a
Juicy
crazy roll. Yeah. The only issue is that it's not too great against incredibly big sense on 11. And that always makes me feel a little bit iffy playing those roles in games with these spells.
For sure.
Yeah, you can just have a very, very good early game and then just lose the game on 11.
Yeah, you can just get stage rammed on 11 and you just don't have an answer to it in his current role. He's also used his reroll immediately, by the way, so he won't have an answer to that siege ram on 11 if that is coming.
Oh,
never mind.
No mind. He does have an answer. His role is just perfect.
This is the second time he's playing it today in the semis. He also
well,
third time actually if you count a ranked game.
I mean, that's why King Dance is the GOAT of this game, right? He is just capable of pulling these things off in situations where it matters. Like, he's just entering the finals and instantly rolling Porta Mask with Ranger and Boar.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, actually.
Honestly, everyone has a pretty juicy roll.
Yeah, that's true.
Little Nightmare Oathbreaker. Witter's got his little Butcher, Kingpin, Sovereign.
Yeah, Witterson's early game is maybe a little bit fiddly, I have to say. But certainly if he gets past, once he gets his Kingpins online and gets past the mid-game spike, he's going to have a really good late game. He just needs to get there, because he might struggle a bit if he gets pressured in the early.
Yeah, that's true. I still feel like Kingdom's roll is by far the very best. It's like Nightmare Chain Fist, but that's kind of all.
He
has
roll is absurd.
Aviator, yeah, he has a good roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not close. So let's see how this works out for them.
Yeah. Everyone's sending besides Aviator because he king ups.
I think King Dan's may even go 7 workers here on wave 3. He does.
Yep.
Yeah. So Aviator sent that King up on 2, which just takes the pressure off of King, knowing he'll be able to add False Maiden on 4. He just safely pushes to 7 workers, and he's going to snowball hard this game.
Oh yeah, I really like that play too. Like, it's not even a huge risk. Like, he will be perfectly fine on 4.
And
Offma
pointing out the 4 Pee-wee build in Aviator's lane. So it's a lot of arcane HP. Is it enough to hold against 3 snails here on wave 3? We're about to find out. I feel like it should be.
It should be, yeah. I think so, at least.
And it looks like Burnt got pretty good aggro with his Nightmare Oathbreaker. This looks like either a hold or a very small, like, lizard-only leak.
Yeah, it looks like lizard only.
But even with 4 Pee-wees, Aviator still leaks. I feel like the Gatling gun just doesn't have the power level that it used to have a patch or 2 ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about that. It even got a buff recently.
Well, here comes Dino. I mean, Aviator can't even send King anything. So he's just gonna run away with these workers.
Yeah, Aviator's not even bothering.
This build leaks pretty bad if you actually do get a reasonable send, but it's not coming.
Yeah,
unless it's like a post-income Dino, but I don't really think Aviator would do something like that.
What would he need to receive off March League?
Pretty sure it's just 100. And like double DT Snail or Fiend's DT.
Oh yeah, then
pretty messy.
Then it gets destroyed, yeah.
But I mean, he's gonna eat good with those 7 workies.
Oh yeah, definitely. The thing is, it's just gonna be a little bit rough for King to transition to the point where he actually has tanks on his lane.
Yeah.
The Dino is down for Widderson.
Yeah.
He's going for a bit of a leak, but this is fine, honestly. Against the 100 send, 42%, he's not particularly ashamed about that result, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of feel like if Aviator sends King on 5,
it could work.
It could work, because...
Yeah, Cannoneer, I've fallen victim to that myself.
Yeah, also because, like, King just doesn't have tanks, but he knows, and he's adding the veteran here.
I mean, it's kind of the only tank he can build, but it's not really going to help him out on wave 6.
He's getting mimicked on 6, probably.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way.
Yeah, he's already minus 140, so he will get punished for this push in the end.
Yeah, let's see if he can punish Burnt, because he built only Oathbreakers, which are great on 5, but less great on 6.
Yeah. I mean, we're focusing on the send that King's going to receive, but he has a little bit of Mythium himself, by the way.
Yeah, he can definitely punish Burnt.
Okay, Mimic, Roots for the Abrasirt.
Alright. So I'm pretty sure Julian should leak decently, even with his second Nightmare here. I mean, he kind of lacks damage, but he also kind of lacks tanks, because the Oathbreakers are going to make quick work of those The Brutes, sorry, will make quick work of the Oathbreakers, I should say.
Yeah.
I think that should be a big leak on Burnt. We'll have to see what happens with this Mimic into King Dan's. I feel like he has a chance to kill all the Roccos, depending on how the Priestess focuses.
I really don't think so. I think everything's gonna die too fast for that to happen.
To the left as well, and all on the Azuria.
Well, the Mimic is very quickly on the red mask.
I mean, it's actually pretty good for him, right?
Yeah.
But I'm more curious about the lane of
85% on King. If we go over to Burnt, he's actually doing better than I expected. Kills that 4th Rocco.
Not true.
Leaking just 46%. Aviator, he's leaking as well, though, 24.
Yeah.
Widdowson, meanwhile, the only player it looks like who's holding. So well played, Mr. Withers, able to cover a bit of his teammates' leak as well. So we will see more King damage dealt to the side of pi squared divided by 6. And meanwhile, if we have a quick look over on the left, Widdowson, how are you doing, my friend? It looks like you're killing every Rocco.
I guess being overvalue actually helps with holding.
Yeah, you would have thought.
It's quite a revolutionary concept.
That's a lot of gold, though. 15 gold on that Mimic, so Aviator does get rewarded a little bit from that send, so...
Yeah, and he's 10 workers now, same with King. Okay, they both just went to 11. I'm surprised he's playing so risky with his... Like, he's not actually strong here at all.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I guess he doesn't expect the re at all.
No, and he will be rewarded because there is no resend coming. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. If Aviator had gone for any kind of resend, I think King Dan's probably would have leaked decently, even with the Tantrum Mask. But as it is, he will be rewarded for this 11 worker push.
Yeah, the question is, will he punish for that on the upcoming wave or on wave 9?
Yeah. Okay, income here for Julian. I think he's incoming for his doppel.
Yeah, he shifted for it. Shifted like 110 gold for that.
I mean, he's really hoping he gets a send.
Alright, here come the income sends from Widdowson and Burnt, full sends from Aviator and King. So a bit of an interesting split send there. We have...
the Mole versus the Nightmares.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And actually, it's not just a Nightmare. Burnt gets his doppelganger here on wave 8.
Nightmare.
Yeah, he should be doing quite fine, I feel, against the Mole send. Meanwhile, though, Aviator's Mimic send against King Dan's, I feel like is going to get some real work done, actually.
Yeah.
Not holding anything. Well, he's going to kill some stuff, obviously. But the Mimic is going to eat good again.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of extra gold as well for Aviator, I'm sure. Ah, he's missed the first couple.
Tragic.
There's a +3, there's a +3, there's a +3.
And another one.
And another one. Now the Mimic just doing
it kills
its thing.
quite a bit, actually. The Mask did a really good job.
But now it's a leak, 72%. Meanwhile, Burnt does just barely hold. Aviator actually leaking the income send from Widdowson.
Yeah, he is getting punished for his 11 worker push.
Yeah, AB push to leak King, which is fair.
Yeah, but he leaks not that much less, even though he received income.
Yeah, and Witter is just the cover god this game.
Yeah, I mean, he got his Kingpin with lifesteal. And now he's in a very good spot to push. Look at him pushing to 17 workers.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, he got his Kingpin power spike. This is what we were saying. He had a little bit of a slower roll in the early game, but as soon as he gets that Kingpin online, he can go to the moon, and he is setting off already, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, his income is actually not even behind everyone else. I mean, he's Cartel, to be fair, but
so
now with 17 workers, yeah, he's definitely in a good spot.
Now, Aviator does receive a full resend here from Widdowson, the Dino Brute. Let's see if that creates another leak. He does have Antler and 2 Mudmen, so I feel like he should do just fine.
Yeah,
also got the plus value.
Yeah, with +10, I would expect
stealing
him to
the Witter technology.
If we have a quick look over at King Dan's, actually, the Dino King upsend is causing trouble for the King. 33% leak there just to income.
Yeah, he built for 10, which is fair. Looking at his build, he's kind of horrible both ways. So
yeah, and looking at
hedged his bets a little
Aviator's
bit.
lane, being plus 10 was actually not enough.
It
Oh
seems
my
like it was
lord.
not. 25% link for Aviator. Importantly, though, this was a full send from Widdowson.
True. He added a brute.
He did add a brute.
They're thinking of. I gotta say, everyone's probably thinking about something longer. But I mean, Witter's trying to snowball his income with his pins. He doesn't believe he can be leaked.
Yeah. I mean, if it was something longer, it's probably 13 against Aviator and Burnt.
Yeah. But honestly, King needs to send for his Azeria probably.
Yeah.
At this rate, he's... Oh, he goes for the piggy here.
And Widdowson is just absolutely committing himself to this snowball game plan. He's income sending every round. So that will take a bit of pressure off of Aviator. Maybe he can apply the pressure back on King in return. But if left unchecked, Widdowson is just going to be huge as we move into this mid-game period.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the strongest period for sure. I mean, the Sovereign and the Kingpin combined, it's like really low waves, especially with Sovereign being a lot better on 15 than it used to be.
Yeah, I think King will
King
send.
actually leaks no send here as well, by the way.
That's so close. It's like one hit.
That's not
They
ideal.
are aggressive spells in the game. So there is the income send.
Income?
Okay, now this may be a turning point because we see the income sends come out from Kingdans and Widdowson. We see the save from Burnt and Aviator, who also take the all-out assault. So this send is going to be massive when it does come. But do we think they go straight wave 13, or what is this?
It's tough to say what the best wave is. I mean, they could go 12. It's really only one pin. But I mean, like, Azeria is impossible to leak on. Like, it's going to be roughly the same strength on every wave.
Yeah.
Tough to find the right one for sure, I think.
I mean, they're receiving a send here, so according to the law, it would be illegal to send them on 12.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, 12 looks pretty decent, but I can also see 13. Like,
yeah.
I think 12 is really hard. Like, there's a Guardian Angel Lifesteal Kingpin for Widdowson. Like, it's doable, but it's really hard.
Yeah, you might not get enough reward.
Yeah, but I mean, you send 2 4-eyes and then there's just not too much damage, I guess.
Ooh, a Pro League from Aviator. Wait, is it a Pro League?
Oh, it's close. It is!
Ooh.
Imagine if he was Fiesta.
What a clean Fiesta.
I wonder what sort of response this prompts.
I mean, surely they're sweaty enough to save. Yeah.
Yeah. Both sides holding their nerve, I mean.
These sends are going to be absolutely enormous when they come from Burnt and Aviator. They have 500 plus Mythium each.
Looking at their values, it has to be 13. Like,
yeah, the thing is, Aviator is not planning to hold 13 himself.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't think Burnt's going to do very well there himself. Like, he's full fortified, and all of his carry units are Pierce.
Yeah, he found the Mudman, which was great for 11, but...
less good for 13.
I guess his best bet is to add gates, right? Like, the Doppel is just a tank by that point.
Yeah.
It's not gonna smurf down the wave.
Kingdan's finally showing his Millennium as well, by the way.
That's just nasty.
That is nasty. Alright, here comes the send. There's double 4-eyes from Burnt. There's an Org from Aviator. He has 400 Mythium left over. Let's see what else he adds.
Go for the double Ogre to try and snipe the Azeria.
A Kraken.
Oh!
Okay.
That's a bigger Ogre.
A bigger Ogre. A big blue Ogre.
I kind of don't like this too much. I don't know. It's just gonna chill in the split, while the Azeria and the Doomsday are just gonna molest the wave.
Yeah.
He had 660 in income. He could have double rammed, honestly, if he was feeling so inclined.
Double ram, I think, would have been really nice, actually. Really, really nice.
I feel like that's way better, yeah.
Because I believe that this Kraken is going to end up getting kited for days by the masks of Kingdom.
I mean, double red, what just killed the side?
It is tanking the Azeria, though. And that does mean the Azeria is going to go down very quickly because she's not defending herself. It is GA.
That's the GA.
Yeah, but now everything's on the Doomsday.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a bit of a leak.
This is pretty good aggro, I think, for King. He's going to leak, but this is about as good as he could have hoped for. 157%.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good I think this aggro was for him.
And Aviator's leaking full, Widdowson's leaking 100%, Burnsy's leaking 60%. This is still a lot of damage, but I think Pi Squared are going to survive this. I'm not so sure for the side of King Dans and Widdowson. Abra see it.
We got a few King attacks at least, but
I mean, it's pretty close.
Then it
is indeed pretty close.
Right side down to 25%, the left side they are down to 0%. It looks like, and that is a game 1 victory. Very, very close there. But Burns and Aviator, they take the lead in this grand finals best of 5.
Yeah,
very nice.
What a game.
Widower's gonna regret putting the GA on the Kingpin there.
Yeah, true.
It's unfortunate, obviously, because he expected 11 to be the problem, but...
That was such a nice play, actually, from Burnt and Aviator. They just really put the starve on. This was a 8 or 9. There was a 9 resend from Aviator. So 8 or 9 into 13 with all-out assault. Massive send, 760 for both players. And it was just an overwhelming amount that King Dans and Widdowson could not hold. And it just barely killed them, actually. That last drill golem just taking off the King's HP before it died itself. So very, very close game. But well played, Burnt and Aviator. They're now 1-0 ahead in our grand finals.
Yeah. And by quite a convincing performance. I think it was... the other team kind of allowed them to do that. Like with very high pushes into scaling income cents, and they did get punished for that. I'm curious if they're gonna mix it up a bit. Like the rolls were very good to scale, but I don't know. They didn't work out in the end.
Yeah, they had a chance to live, I guess, if they made the read to go Income King. But I mean, that's kind of impossible to think to Income King when you just saw them save on 11 as well. Like, you really don't want to give them away to save even longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, they were probably scared of a big 11 send themselves, right? Because Burnt and Aviator still had 400 plus Mythium after taking the all-out assault, so it would have been pretty dangerous for them to save there and then receive a 400 Mythium send. Like, I think King and Widdowson can still take massive damage on 11 in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a tough position that they were put in, like a massive amount of pressure coming from the side of Burnt and Aviator, who released it all on 13 with this killer blow, like a one-hit kill, 760 Mythium, just way too much to hold on wave 13.
Yeah.
So very, very nice play. Very nice.
I agree with you, Offman, that it's hard to make the call to send income there on 13, because you also see how pushed Julian and Aviator are. Like, they were so under on 12 already.
Yeah.
So it can feel like the best. The best move.
Right.
Bless you.
It is time to announce the winner of the Safety Mole Twitch chat giveaway, it seems. So let me close the entries. And it's time to pick our winner. We have 46 entries. Good luck, everybody. And the winner of the very special Safety Mole plushie, plus all of the in-game goodies, is Havin McDump. Excellent name. What a good name to win the Safety Mole plushie. It's Havin McDump. Congratulations to you, sir.
It's not me. That's rigged.
You.
That's absolutely rigged.
Absolutely rigged. So congratulations, Havin McDump. If you make sure that you send me a little DM in Twitch chat or Discord if you have me on Discord, and we will sort out all the details you need to claim your prize. Congratulations to you, sir. I hope the Safety Mole keeps you warm at night.
Congratulations.
We are ready for game number 2. So, Abrasiert, can you bring this one back? You're currently 1-0 behind to Aviator and Burnt. And let's be honest, I would really like to see Aviator and Burnt win the trophy this month. But at the same time, I want it to be a hard slog for them. I want King and Widdowson to at least give us the full 5 games for the best of 5 series. I'm sure that's what the viewers at home want as well. So let's see as we go into game number 2. Abrasiert versus Pi Squared divided by 6. Let's get it on.
So no more Cartel for Aviator, no more cash out for Burn.
Oh.
You're gonna see
Well, we see Fiesta on Burn.
I'm down.
I would definitely be down too.
Greed.
Castle.
Chaos. No
Chaos.
pawn shop.
There's no pawn shop. Okay. So
that's.
I think he's just trying to get the mental edge. He's receiving sends from Julian. He's picked Chaos. He just wants to tilt his opponent.
Yeah. Absolutely Giga Brain play.
Pretty fat, yeah. You gotta know your opponent and play to that mental edge.
Yeah. Julian has a
a
decent YOLO roll. It's not the best, but it's certainly playable. Aviator now on the Greed, which is his old staple. You know, he pretty much played exclusively Greed on the ladder, at least for the early part of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
He has a reasonable AoE roll, or just some Wildstream stuff if he would prefer to not play AoE.
Yeah.
I mean, does Aviator play AoE rolls?
I actually haven't seen him play one.
Yeah, I can't really remember having seen.
Oh?
What? Maybe this is a first. I mean,
snails.
Isn't it just the best time?
2 snails against 2 risky openers. This is a spicy start to game number 2.
It's kind of Tommy sus.
Winter is so doomed because he's Castle. Like he's gonna build something that
he's already 5 workers.
I think Widder's just in trouble to like a snail or 2 resend on 2, right?
Yeah, and Aviator's playing Flower, so he will have a good push.
And King won't be much better because his Chaos roll has only given him Peewee and Angler as playable units on Wave 2.
Could be worse, I guess. Yeah, there's 40, or there's 40 if Aviator wants to send it.
But Aviator and Burnt not resending on Wave 2, which is a shame because it would really punish them, I feel.
Oh, actually, Witter has enough for Fire Archer.
Okay, then he should be okay.
Am I good at math?
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And King got his anglers. So for now, they're okay.
Aviator having a very nice AoE roll indeed, and getting fed hardcore by Kingdoms, it looks like. He's just easily pushing 7 workers here.
Yeah.
Off this Snail King up on Wave 2. Burnt, unfortunately, has to stay on 5 with his slightly slower Berserker opener. But let's see when this next send comes, because Kingdown's actually looking pretty vulnerable, but he did manage to skillfully Chaos roll the Green Devil, so let's see if there is a Wave 3 send coming or not.
I mean, I think
he's
just building the casket, no? Yeah, he is.
He also had casket. I didn't see that far up his roll.
Yeah, I feel like it's better than building 3 gargoyles.
Yeah.
And he should be fine with that. Against no send, especially.
Pressure, maybe? For Witter?
Yeah,
looks like it is. It's quite high, that Crusher.
I think it's like a square to a high, maybe, but
there's a free snail send against Burnt, which he should be able to snack on. And if we have a look at Aviator, of course, able to hold the 1 snail resend with his 7 workers, so he's really loving life at the moment. Does Burnt even leak this? Because this, if he does, would actually be massively in their favor.
Leak, maybe.
Where do you think they will send? The issue is with Kingdoms showing the casket, he's pretty safe on Wave 4.
Yeah,
because,
well, you can still try it, right?
Like, if you upgrade the casket, just two-shot the wave.
Yeah, but there's a chance it dies, is the only thing.
Before
the second cast? With a big enough send, obviously.
This wave is so long while they have 7 workers each. Okay, here comes the send. There is Dino Snail.
Brute. Okay, that's not very nice.
Brute is not very nice. 2 Brutes, even less.
That's gonna be tragic on Willison's wave.
Okay, King Dans, what do you do? He has 125 gold. He goes for the Bounty Hunter. Okay, that's fine. Okay. He's very high value, 435.
Yeah, but he does not have the very best units here.
He does not, and importantly, he didn't upgrade the casket.
Yeah.
Which means obviously a lot less AoE damage against the wave 4.
Yeah, like even unupgraded, it was close.
Yeah, it was close.
It had 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So
Wilson going for a bit of a leak against the double brute. That's 65%. King Dans is doing very, very well. I will say that casket that he added on 3 did enable him to clear a lot of the chickens and ignore the dino for a very long time. So the AoE coming in pretty clutch, and he just holds.
Yeah, he's just fine. Yeah, rolling the casket was just absolutely skilled. That's why he's the GOAT of the game. Like, in these types of situations, he just rolls what he needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they got the myth advantage. See what they want to do with it.
There's a resend coming out from Aviator and Burnt. Starting to feel
pressure. What is Avi going to build? Okay. Mushroom? Or maybe Oathbreaker. Yeah.
Oathbreaker, indeed, yeah. Burnt has 176 to play with. He goes for a Butcher. I think that's pretty standard procedure here. But the send isn't coming here. And the fact that they skip 5, I feel like it's just going to be 7 or even 8 now. Like a really long save. That's just how I'm feeling this game's going to pan out.
Maybe a nice little GK for Aviator.
Oh, that would be absolutely disgusting behaviour. Right.
Not as obvious with the send against Julian on 8, but maybe something like Mimic Brutes or something.
Yeah. And King Downs is able to hold against the Lizard send, but it looks like he would have struggled against anything much more substantial than that.
Yeah.
Widdowson, likewise, actually, only receiving the 40 income, just about able to hold, or is this a pro league?
I think he leaks. The creeps do quite a bit for Archer. Or? Oh, he gets the last
I think that was very close. I think the Fire Archer can 1v1 a single Scorpion, but 2 was just too much. And yeah, this is really in favour of King and Widdowson. Now they have a big Mythium pressure lead.
Ooh, they're going for the Brutes to try and undercut.
They're going for the undercut, so King and Widder. But King didn't push a worker. He kept his gold, added the Harbinger, and now he should easily be able to hold against this Brute Snail resend. Widdowson, meanwhile, he gets the canopy, so likewise, I think both players easily going to hold these resends. And
now you really can go 8.
They can quite easily go 8, yeah. I mean, they're going to have more than 200 on 7, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go there. But if they just want to go for like those Ghost Knights on 8, then this is clearly within their grasp now.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they can send whenever they want.
Yeah, they just don't have any pressure against them. They're both very strong Wave 7 already, with the Harbinger of King, with the Canopy of Widdowson. Does Widdowson actually hold?
He might even Pro League, but the Canopy had some good time to get regen.
It's quite close, I would say.
King's easily holding. Canopy's down to below 200 HP, below 100 HP. So it looks like the Brute's too strong, and that is so good for Widdowson, actually. He loves to leak a Brute here.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And they say...
And it is gonna be Ghost Knight or Ram on 8.
So King and Widdowson, clearly sick of being starved themselves in game number 1. They say, you guys can't starve us. We'll show you what a real starve looks like. And this was, what, Wave 3 income into what looks like Wave 8 massive tank send? Yeah. We have the Avenger added here from Burnt Das Brot. So he would have been pretty strong on 7, but the send is not coming on wave 7.
And after catching that Brute, both King and Wood are playing really aggressive.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's not going to be another one.
Yeah.
So
Wooderson on 575 value.
I mean, he would have just loved to get a full resend and leak small, I think, so that he can send 300 plus on wave 8.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Ram on 8, first time.
It's kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, King is very...
King is
he's going to get it, yeah, I think.
Oh.
I mean, if this leaks, they're going to be so happy. But
No, the canopy out-heals the wave. That's a siege
was
round.
very close.
And
Ooh,
that's a
Centaur, I like
Centaur.
that. Yeah.
Okay. These sends are just absolutely obscene.
He had the Revening combo, but I prefer this send. Crazy.
This is just absolutely bonkers. And Aviator's doing what he can to try and hold wave 8, but these Tempests are not going to help him at all against the siege ram.
Their values are pretty nice.
The values are nice, but the sends are just obscene. Like, you just can't deal with a siege ram on 8. It's not within your capabilities.
Oh yeah. And King Dance has Kingpin now.
Yeah.
Receiving another round of King upgrades.
And the Centaur just making really quick work of Julian's melee units. The Avenger and the Berserker died very quickly. Oh, this is great aggro for Aviator, actually. Getting onto the backline, clearing off a lot of the Cobras. He's nearly killing every Cobra. In fact, he is killing every Cobra. Aviator! Holy moly! I said the siege ram is too much to deal with on wave 8, which is true, but why deal with it when you can ignore it for the entire wave? What a nice kite there! Getting his canopy onto the backline, killing everything but the ram. That's so clutch for Aviator.
Oh yeah.
In retrospect, there was probably a better send, but it's kind of hard to not send ram when you have 320 in income.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's generally hard to send into this. Maybe it's like just which entities, because like a huge tank will always be ignored.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost even down for just pack mole.
Yeah, I think that's also very, very good.
But just look at these workers now. We have Aviator and Burnt stuck there on 12 workers, while King Downs has 17, and Widdowson on 15 as well. So this is a pretty sticky situation now for the Pi Squared boys. How do they come back into this one?
They cover each other somewhat. Like, 10 is hard versus Burn. It's what you would want against Avi, probably.
Yeah.
And then 11 against Julian, there's Lone, which helps. But honestly, I think forcing Lone would be a good play.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep, I agree with that.
Broly King?
Oh, Broly King.
Daphne's focusing different units.
Yeah.
Of course.
Daphne's, of course, hard-coded not to attack the same unit.
Fiesta God Wooderson.
Absolute Fiesta God.
Now that's very, very juicy. I mean, just look at their Mythium as well with the worker lead. Oh, that is a 10 send. Okay.
Yeah, they were just way too pushed. This wave.
Burnt is building for wave 11.
I think I'd rather see the head shove.
Yeah.
Just because he needs some tanks on 11 as well. Or just some bucklers, yeah.
I mean, just look at Widdowson's and Kingdom's value. Like, they are very, very, very pushed.
They're very, very pushed. Now, if Aviator and Burnt can hold it, I don't think Aviator can hold
My lord,
the Ogre
that
is
is
just
300.
such a good send against Leviathan.
That's the one wave skip 320 send.
Yeah, he's got some workies. King Dan's, he's got a worker or two.
Yeah, how are they gonna
The canopy, though, was focusing the Ogre, so it goes down very quickly. Aviator, how does he do this aggro?
And Julian's
just
looks like he's easy clapping
holding,
this.
Yeah, Julian's quite comfortably holding. He may even be able to bring down that boss of Aviator as well.
And they haven't pushed a single worker, so I think they're going to cred and long save.
They're going to go long, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be like 14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 looks good.
The Granddaddy does reach the Sky King, but deals very little damage. And now, yeah, the pressure is kind of back on the side of Aviator and Burn. Let's see what they can make.
Knowing Aviator, I think he's probably calling 16-17 by now.
I wonder if... Nah, okay, I was like, I wonder if King and Witter have the slightest inkling to cred here.
Yeah,
but I think they're down to try and scale their income to hold, because it's a complete all-out play if you're 120 income.
What I think is very interesting is if you look at King Dan's build, you wouldn't necessarily know that that's a Chaos build, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Widdowson takes the creditor.
I really like it.
The
because
one, yeah, King is holding.
Yeah, and like knowing your enemy
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, also a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like knowing that they're going to get cringed on.
Yeah, and there's no way they're sending 12 into Vamp APS Kingpins, so another free cred for Witter if he wants.
Yeah.
But they'll see here that Widdowson's low value, so they have clearly spotted this now for the side of Aviator and Burnt. One other thing worth pointing out, by the way, is that Widdowson's playing Castle and now has over 100 income more than both of his opponents.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. He's just scaling to the moon now.
Yeah, the famous gaining value as they save on you.
He's even going to shift for Creditor once more, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's the correct play.
And King, of course, skillfully rolling the Doomsday.
Yeah, obviously. Protecting 13 and 14.
I don't see any reason why a Chaos player wouldn't roll Doomsday when they're expecting a 13 cent.
I also don't see a reason to think that Aviator would be inclined to send 13 already.
Yeah.
Like, they're just chilling with Creditor, just farming it. Like, they feel safe, and as long as they feel safe on Koshi, they're not gonna send.
Yep. But they can't feel that safe, actually, because the save going on this long means King Dan's with his 17 workers is catching up in income, and they actually go for a full send. Well, a full send on the side of King. Widdowson's just income sending.
Trying to leak Avi for some money, I guess. Catch him creding.
I mean, it's quite hard to leak Julian here.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit.
He's going to have a Chieftain buffed Royal Guard for tank. He's going to have a Fatalizer and an Avenger with Lifesteal to deal damage. And
I like this decision because you can see Witter's value is just unreal. This income.
Yeah.
He is scared off his Creditor here, so that's something.
Yeah, so they are expecting to send. I'm surprised by that.
But Aviator's going to leak massively here. Like, he just has absolutely no way to hold a send of this size, 460, even though it was them kind of having the pressure lead of sorts. Like, the fact that King Dan had those 17 workers already on wave 9 means that this send is still massive.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an 89% leak there for Aviator. And Burnt, he holds, sure, but he's not going to full cover, so this will be more King damage dealt to the side of Aviator and Burnt.
Yeah, maybe putting some pressure that they actually have to send 15 and can't go even longer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Aviator's already pinging Legion TD3 for when he wants to send.
Yeah, probably Aviator is using an add-on, because right now I can only ping wave 17. But he probably is capable of pinging wave 21 by now, using his very, very own add-on.
Witter's actually overvalue now.
Yeah, like that gave him some more gold.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gate, Ocean Templar, okay.
Very skillful Chaos player.
Oh, he's figuring out the perfect setup. Wait, but don't you need the Gate on the APS in the map? I guess the Ocean Templar on the casket would be... Ooh, Witter has APS Doomsday too, I didn't even notice. Nice reroll. He does have a lot of natural armor, so even though he has a lot of value, it's not going to be perfect for the wave if they do go 50.
Yeah. Well, let's see. They're surely starting to feel the pressure for Aviator and Burnt. Their values are super low. 2.3k Aviator, 2.4k Burnt, and they have nearly 800 Mythium each. So are they going to pull the trigger? Will this be a wave 15 send or not?
Didn't they shift? Like this,
yeah.
These are quite high numbers. I think they're baiting
I think they maybe did a little bit of shifting.
They're baiting the send because they want to go even longer. Yeah.
Holy moly, these guys are committed to the cringe.
Exactly. Like, they baited out this send so they can go, I don't know, like, it's kind of rough. I guess they want 17.
I like Julian's arcane tank.
Yeah. And it's his only option. He doesn't have any arcane in his YOLO role, so he's doing the best he can.
Their values aren't high.
And the chieftains are obviously very good on 15, so you can't fault him for that.
Barely no send value.
Yeah. And he's actually getting yes send, so that'll be an interesting one.
The ram is killable with the 4 Leviathan canopies at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They've fallen for the bait.
The canopies get a lot of extra damage, plus 54 damage with the Leviathan buff, so that's a pretty nice synergy actually. Maybe one that's often overlooked. And if we have a look over at Burnt, his chieftains are dealing a ton of damage.
It's a pretty ballsy play, though, I gotta say.
Very ballsy play.
It looks like they're both leaking the boss at least, and now they have to send.
Wave 16 send.
I think they decided that if they go 17 in a race, they're gonna lose. I think, or they're just dead.
Yes.
I don't think they die here. Like wave 15 currently doesn't do any damage.
I also think they would die to a resend if they don't send because they're just not good enough. But yeah, I would expect them to survive here. And
it looks like
King rolled the best unit in the game on 16. Consort.
Consort? Yeah, he is just the luckiest Chaos player alive.
Ooh, and a full re. Yeah, good call, Green.
Right, so it is going to come down to a race, and I don't know that Aviator and Burnt are going to win this.
Aviator...
Yeah, he has pyros if he wants to whip them out.
Yeah, he does. Aviator has 1 death cap, but... Like,
here they come.
Like, check their values. Like, it's just such a low amount of value.
4 pyros. Look, he already has full white main tank circle. Like
this is just insane. And Kingdowns and Widdowson are actually less undervalued than Aviator and Burnt are, and they've been saving since wave 3.
Aviator is below the base recommended value. So I'm absolutely not surprised about the 4% here. It's actually very...
See if these pyros can do some cooking.
And it certainly looks like they can. Widdowson is doing far too well against this 1200 send on wave 16. Kingdom, he's doing pretty okay as well. Clearly he's going to leak, but it could have been much worse. And Julian and Aviator, starving never pays. It looks like they will die here on wave 16.
It's basically
huge leak from Widder.
Yeah, Widdowson
they definitely live, and the other team
is dead.
The other team definitely do not live.
They're dead.
Well played, GG, coming out from Burnt. Oh yeah, King and Widdowson, Team Abraseat, they do even the series. We will get to see at least 3 games in the best of 5 series.
Yeah, they were kind of ambitious with baiting the 15 cent and not sending there.
Yeah.
And I think they expected that to go a little bit better for them.
Yeah, I mean, when did they last send? It was wave 8. They did a wave 8 into 16 send, and Widdowson basically held. Like, that's just absolutely mind-boggling. The guy scaled to the moon and back. Kingdowns, who had 17 workers on 9, his scaling was pretty nice as well. And they just had so much more income than their opponents. Like, they're getting over 100 gold every single wave just from their income, plus the gold from this leak on 13, Offmer, as you said. And they just have so much more resources to play with. Aviator and Burnt, like, even leaking here on wave 15, nearly dying, going down to 5% HP, and then losing the race on wave 16 when they finally do pull the trigger on their 8-wave save.
Just check the recommended value of Widder on 14. He was able to fix his lane by wave 14, Through income alone.
Wow.
With castle and just keeping to send. Yeah. He's just plus 30 there.
Yeah. I need to say as well, incredible presence of mind from Widdowson to take the creditor there. Like, they were getting hardcore starved by Aviator and Burnt. The last send was income on wave 8. And wave 11 could have been a goer. Like, he even took creditor and was minus nearly 400 on 11 because he shifted the full amount there. So if Aviator and Burnt had gone for a wave 11 send, and remember they had a decent chunk of Mythium already there, this could have been really, really dangerous for Widdowson. But as you said, Green, he just knows his opponents. Like, he read them. He knows that Aviator and Burnt are going to go for this long starve. So he plays perfectly into that, taking creditor, being undervalued, and just getting a ton of bonus gold so that he can absolutely snowball and just become an unstoppable force. Very well played, Widdowson.
That was the deciding factor, I think, because, I don't know, like, sure, King has 2 kingpins, but they're not as good in 11 as people like to rate them. Like, sure, one of them has lifesteal, but I think if they receive a send on 11, it might really backfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they saved that game from the from the wave 1 tragedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's actually impressive after being stream sniped like that.
Yeah, very, very sus Aviator and Burnt, very sus. But I think we should probably get back into game number 3. I'm sure everybody in chat is keen to see how this one pans out because it seems to be one hell of a series already. And there's at least 2 more games to go. This is a best of 5, remember, currently tied 1-1.
Yeah, I'm curious about the masterminds now. Like, no more castle, which was a big part of that victory. I wonder, like, what they're gonna lean towards.
And no more chaos.
Yeah, that's a relief for Julian, probably.
Yeah. I don't even know if he would have realised he was sending into chaos, though, because King Dan's only had, like, 3 or 4 different units on his board by wave 11, so...
Yeah, maybe by wave 16 he sniffed it out, but, like, it looked pretty normal.
Yeah. Alright, I feel like we have game number 3 underway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see which of these 2 titans of Legion are able to take the lead as we go into game number 3.
Maybe we'll have a fiesta this time.
Please?
Do we actually have to beg for it?
There it is! Green, they're definitely stream sniping, by the way, with those sales on wave 1, and now the fiesta when you asked for it.
Oh yeah.
Cartel,
really sus.
YOLO.
And the consort opener.
Oh, that's
huge.
I really like this. Like, consort, ranger, and porter. It plays itself so incredibly well with fiesta, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you can just transition your build so nicely into a normal looking build and not just some random garbage you put somewhere to leak.
Yeah.
And Burnt, skillfully rolling Porter Steed with Cartel to go along with Fiesta.
I've got to say, 2 of the perfect units to cover as well. You've got the Consort, which is obviously the best unit on wave 4, 12 and 16, where the Priestess is otherwise weak. And he also has the Berserker to cover that wave 10.
Yeah, I agree. And Aviator picked this role in a way that I would have imagined.
Yep.
It's just pretty nice to play it that way, in my opinion. Oh.
King Dan's also on Cartel. His role isn't all that, I have to say. Like, he certainly has some early game option. Oh, wow. Okay, the Crusher and the Pack Rat, that's an unusual one, but I'm sure he can make it work.
Yeah, he has the Crusher and the Gargoyle. Wave 4 is a little bit OP, but he also has a Bunk, Ocean Templar Gates. Not too horrible.
Curious, the Legion spells are very interesting this game, especially with Fiesta Cartel.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the all-out play, like, there's loan to counter it, but then there's, like, you can bait someone to loan and just venture, and then you have a huge lead.
Yeah, true.
Yes, a lot of nice mind games. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Widdowson was not as lucky with his YOLO. He has some arcane and Pennywise.
Aviator goes for that 6-worker
difficult.
play, but he is getting snailed here by Widdowson, so maybe Widdowson has sniffed out the Fiesta after all.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And if you've watched Aviator's like games where he plays Fiesta, he kind of plays like a psychopath. He just pushes. He doesn't really. He like actually doesn't care about holding at all. He just full pushes after Ascend most of the time.
Well, let's see if Burnt holds, because he's receiving a Dragon Turtle himself.
I think he should be fine with just a tier 1.
Let's see, because it's important now. If Burnt leaks, we know that Aviator's leaking, so they can take quite some king damage if Burnt doesn't hold his own lane, but it looks like he's completely fine. Priestess, after all, one of the strongest, if not the strongest opening in the game currently.
I think Lizard might have better odds of leaking Podon too.
Yes.
But he gets the cover now, and so they have a bajillion myth.
And they're both on 6 workers, so that send there from King Dan's into Julian's Priestess build onto kind of just feeding him. And look at the size of these sends. That's a dino. It is currently wave 3. King Dan's, how do you deal with a dino? He goes for Fire Archer, which is fine, but Aviator can add a snail if he wants, and that would force the dino into the Fire Archer, absolutely destroying it. So let's see. Yeah. And there is a snail.
APM God, though.
Yeah. Widdowson, he's receiving a brute snail of his own. That's going to be difficult for him to deal with. The dino does go into the Fire Archer, which means that thing is dying very quickly. It is absolutely crushing for him. That dino is just invincible, right? The pack rat certainly can't kill it. Aviator leaks 78% to 2 snails, by the way. We're kind of focusing on the other side at the moment. And as you say, this dino, it just cannot be killed. That's a 93% leak for King Dan. And a 44 for Widdowson with a full HP brute. Reaching the king, wave number 3. This is a ton of damage.
Yeah, Widder is not pleased with the aggro because it's RNG.
I think that always happens, right? With the
no 1 square down.
He put it a whole square down. Yeah, he kept on moving it. My bad. But yeah, the fact that that dino went into the Fire Archer just absolutely demolished King Dan's lane.
And we see, like I mentioned, Aviator just suicide pushed because he built the second consort on 3.
He is the psychopath, like you said.
And I mean, he's fine here, right? Like who?
Well, you leak pretty badly, but yeah, it's a risk.
And he just shifts for the Prota, so he can just pro leak next if he receives a send, which he very likely will.
And Julian has the Berserker out, by the way, so he's getting starved by King Dan's, kind of. But he just isn't really weak until 7 with his current build.
Yeah, and he's on value, the way we know him.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him do a shift on 6 to get out that Doomsday on wave 7.
Yeah,
which is just going to be like the best possible build for him there.
Maybe he will... I don't know. No, he builds.
Aviator getting a Priestess of his very own here. Great on wave 5. And nice that he was able to hold wave 4 with 230 value, by the way. Enabling him to shift while having 8 workers. Pretty juicy little combo he has going for him there. So as I was saying, the Priestess great here on wave 5. But not great on wave 7, which is where we're expecting the send to come.
Yeah.
I think they were looking for a 6 undercut by themselves, but Witter prepared the Canopy, shifted a little gold, I think.
Yep.
And not sure what King's answer is going to be, but might just be unhunting his rat and being over value.
Yeah, value is pretty strong.
But sounds like a pretty good plan, I gotta say.
Or everyone's going 7.
So I think Burnt and Aviator have already sniffed out the wave 7 send. Expect them both to shift here so they can try and get those Millenniums out on wave 7.
Oh, I thought he was going for a nice block build action. But...
Aviator actually playing it safe. He goes for the Grawl rather than the full shift. Or does he? He's yet to make up his mind.
Yeah, I think he's doing this so that the Zeri only tanks 2 if 3 go left.
Yeah.
Be rather unfortunate if Zero just dies.
Alright, but Burnt did not shift, which I honestly thought he would do here. Instead, he's added a Mudman, which is great against Mimics. Problem is, I think he's going to receive an Ogre.
Yeah. Tough time.
And
but maybe they're hoping that they can trade back enough.
Well, Widdowson actually did not get the Ogre in time. He was 1 or 2 Mythium short of that Ogre. Has to settle with the Mimic. And now, Julian's Mudman actually going to give him fantastic value. It's going to tank that Mimic for a long time. But he's still massively lacking in damage.
This Azaria, I feel like it's not going to tank enough. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, like... These buzzes are kind of too far inside her circle, so I think they will pull. Aviator does get the Millennium out after selling the Graal, so he should do okay-ish. But let's have a quick look. This Mimic is chewing on the Mudman in Burnt's lane. It did tank for a very long time. It is now down. The Berserker follows soon after. And Priestess at least clears up the left side. Aviator, meanwhile, he is doing well, but will leak. How about this side? Kingdan's with the Banana Bunk. He's completely fine. That's a full hold comfortably. And likewise for Widdowson, another hold there for him. So, leaks
good
only on the side
them.
of Burnt and Aviator. This will be a decent chunk of King damage. It looks like we're going to be pulling roughly even to the damage already dealt to King and Widders.
Yeah, that's a really nice counterplay from King and Winter after that disaster.
Oh, okay, even more King damage dealt, so then down now to 62% versus 66 on the side of King and Widdowson. Jules giving them a 60% chance to win the game. I think that's probably about accurate from this point.
I think King is gonna... Aviator's making the read that he's gonna just full hunt. Oh, never mind.
Aviator's adding King upgrades.
He's indecisive.
I think if Aviator had full scent here, this could have been a pretty big leak.
Yeah, it goes for the King.
But he goes Dino double regen. The Dino's doing its thing, keeping the bunk away from the wave for now. But the Green Devil's still very good tanks.
Yeah, that's true. It should still be a small league.
I think he's doing pretty fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still be a small league.
Yeah. Now Aviator kicking himself. If he'd sent full here, this would have been a huge leak on the King. Like, can you imagine just a Hermit and 2 Snails? This would have been a pretty full leak.
Let's see what they choose to do with their best. The Aviator gave up some of his pressure for the income. Maybe just 10
more income from Aviator. King and Widdowson continue to save. Probably they have their eyes on wave, let's say wave 12, because Burnt and Aviator, they're obviously going to have their Azerias for 11, and Aviator in particular looking vulnerable on 12.
There's absolutely nothing Witter could build for this. Oh, never mind, he rerolled. Okay, now I can build. Avenger, maybe.
Yeah, that's quite a fortunate reroll there for Widdowson, actually. He
Yeah,
goes with the Firelord.
Yeah, prepping better on 11 for this AOA.
Kingdom's very low value, but this is only an income send, so he should be completely fine. Let's have a look then at Widdowson. His Firelord does go down relatively quickly.
Unfortunate.
But he's already killed one of the 2 brutes. And the canopy is very, very good.
Damage.
It looks like he's doing just fine to me. He probably leaks small, but that's just more time for their ongoing Mythium save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're thinking. Like, Aviator went for the Azaria, so obviously weaker on 10, but Julian, I'm assuming, has enough for Feta? Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
Especially if he sends or swim sells like a couple buzzes.
It feels like Kingdan's really having the measure of Aviator in this game. Like, even though Aviator's sending him every wave, he's treasure hunting every wave, King was minus 220 value on the previous wave. If Aviator had full sent him, and the same on wave 8, right? We saw the Dino send cause a leak. If Aviator full sends against King on wave 8 and 9, he's probably leaking really, really badly. But because he kind of reads Aviator very well, he knows he's going to go for that greedy income play, and he's just abusing that. He's being very, very low value on King, and reaping the rewards.
Yeah, he's playing really excellently against the income.
Now, here comes this full send. We do have a Fatalizer on Burnt and a double Harden. I think he can do well. Centaur's pretty solid against Fatalizer, but Fatalizer is just so absurd on wave 10. It's the perfect unit. Meanwhile, for Aviator, it looks like a bit of a leak.
Not quite enough.
Not perfect enough, you're right.
And Julian is just gonna be out of the game after this.
Yeah, he's kind of dead.
Cartel's got a hit.
Yeah, he really is, actually. So King Dan's is on Cartel as well, but he has 41 income more than Julian does.
Yeah, like check the income compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
At least he can venture.
At least he can venture.
It's gonna be fine, Copium.
Yeah, I mean, I think AoE 12 is a reasonable play for Withering King. Like, this looks pretty juicy.
Yeah,
they're both pushing really hard. I think they might go for it. No,
yeah,
Aviator and Burnt go for the...
yeah, I like
everyone
goes for the all-out. Okay.
I really like that.
King Dan's? He's going into wave 11 with 1,110 value.
I mean, they wanna finish the game next wave, right?
I mean, Burnt and Aviator could go for a cheeky post-income send and most likely win the game.
They're both pro leaking here, right? Am I crazy?
I mean, Widdowson's not going to cover.
Looks like it.
He has a they are post-income sending! They're going post-income for it! This might just be game-winning!
Wow.
No, this will save them.
Yeah, the Neko's definitely going to save them. Look at this. What a read there. What a Hail Mary from Burnt and Aviator with these post-income all-out 4-eyes, while King Dan's on 1,100 value, wave 11, and his value's in gates as well. So when those gates get steamrolled, they don't even get the value that you paid for them.
They're dead,
Widdowson, 105% leak. King Dan's, 129% leak. Burnt and Aviator, have they just snatched this victory from the jaws of defeat? I think they have.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good play. It's kind of like playing to the outs.
The well played GG comes out from Burnt. What a surprise upset to this game, man! That is unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. They just read that they're not gonna win on 12 against them, so I really like the play.
They were so far behind. They were so far behind. They got absolutely mollered on that wave 7 send, where King and Widdowson both held the try-hard brute send. Then on wave 10, their King going down to just 13% HP, but they make the mother of all reads, knowing King Dan's. He's been greeding every single wave so far. He's got away with it on wave 8. He's got away with it on wave 9. Does he get away with it on wave 11? He does not. I almost think that Aviator was maybe drawing King Dan's into a trap with these constant income sends, like allowing King Dan's to get away with unreal levels of greed and then just hyper punishing it here with a crushing defeat on wave 11.
Yeah, that was strength.
King Dan's and Widdowson. Oh,
I just don't like his value was just like way too low for like what I felt like even what he was going for.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way that he holds against no send there, right?
Yeah, it just... I mean, like, the vision of, like, killing them 12, thinking that they will overbuild for it, like, I see it, but... I feel like he could have killed them if he just didn't hunt his rats, put up a little more value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man,
I guess he just went for the complete all-in because Julian was the stronger one on 12.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, what an absolutely unbelievable ending to game number 3 here. That was just incredible levels of play from Burnt and Aviator, taking a very well-deserved 2-1 lead now in the series.
Yeah, and they got their win with Fiesta.
Yeah, they did. So that's Fiesta out for Aviator, Cartel out for Julian, but he still has Fiesta available to him as well. So let's see what the players decide to go with as we move into game because this is everything to play for now. Sorry, game number 4. Burnt and Aviator are on match point. They only need one more win to seal the deal, while King and Widdowson, they need 2 wins to take this one home. Let me find my clown mask to add a little hype here. Right.
What are you planning to do with your mask?
I'm just wearing it as a hat for now. It's far too hot to wear it on my actual face, especially while casting.
Yeah, and Witterson giving them some praise.
Yeah, reasonable. I mean, it was a pretty good call.
Just Aviator things.
So Julian is confirming that was an Aviator read, and it absolutely was game-winning, so well played there to Mr. Aviator. And I'm certainly excited to see what happens now in game number 4. Which of these teams is going to take it? Is it going to be a 3-1 victory for pi squared over 6, or can Abrasiet even the score once again? What do you guys think? Have you got any favourites?
I want a game 5.
Yeah, I also want a game 5, so I'm rooting for King and Witter here.
I'm rooting for game 5 as well, so hopefully Abrasiet are not too shell-shocked after that crushing defeat in game number 3. Hopefully they can keep their cool and bring the series back to a tie.
Yeah, I mean, they had the lead, they just made a bit of a misstep.
You can't, yeah, I was going to say, you can't really call it a misstep, it's more of a good read from Aviator, but I think there's no way around Kingdance being on 1100 value. It just feels like a mistake. But guys, enough of game number 3. It's time for game number 4. Let's get it on.
YOLO from Aviator, YOLO from Witterson. What? That is a YOLO roll.
Yeah?
Nothing for wave 8, but...
That's a very solid YOLO roll from Widdowson, actually.
Oh my
and
god.
Burnt on YOLO as well. All 3 players having perfectly playable YOLO rolls.
RP, maybe?
Yeah. Isn't that good, the roll from Widdowson? Yes, Flower Aqua, but that's kind of it.
He's basically fine for the first 7 waves. Like, he'll struggle on wave 8, obviously, but...
He's got something for 10 at least, kind of.
And he can just re-roll by the time he gets to wave 7 or 8, right? You just keep the bonus YOLO income for the first 7 waves, and then when you need a unit on wave 8, you just press re-roll and get something like an Infiltrator.
Yeah, King has an insane late game roll. He's got a Butcher Hero Gates.
Yeah, with the Berserker as well.
Yeah, and Mudman for tech value.
Yeah, he's got a really
Not sure
nice
if we're
roll.
gonna see the. Oh my god, Julian is just cheating.
Oh, Julian re-rolling his YOLO roll. He wasn't happy with what he was given on wave 1. Re-rolls it into Nightmare, Butcher, Oathbreaker with Dark Mage, with Chieftain for wave 15 tech. I think, yeah, he's got a pretty solid roll now.
Yeah, with an answer as well.
Yeah, just for good measure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can be pretty happy with that one.
See if the double Nightmare hurts them.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have
but
the
they
same...
have more diverse builds after the Nightmare, so should be okay.
And Nightmare as a carry, obviously it has weak waves on 5 and 8 and 11, but they both have solid answers, or good enough answers for those waves, like Oathbreaker, one of the better units to pair with Nightmare for wave 5, and Aviator has something like an Infiltrator to cover him on wave 8, and Julian has a Chieftain for wave 11, so yeah, I think they certainly have options.
This early game feels the most normal out of the 3 games we've had.
Yeah, nobody's pushed up to 10 workers yet on wave 2. This is certainly the slowest paced opener that we've had so far in this series. Although Widdowson does go 6 here, but of course he's playing Flower Aqua. So that's to be expected.
Nice guy that Kingdance is, lets everyone get 40 besides himself.
Yep. Oh, Widdowson actually going straight to 7 workers. The Flower Aqua, just such a strong opener, able to really abuse that early game power.
It's kind of doomed here.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. He
mind.
just rerolls an infiltrator.
Yeah, no problem.
That's
Also,
why he's the king.
White main, lifesteal gate. No problem.
No problem.
All
I guess he
right.
dropped the Sea Dragon because that was his original plan for this wave.
Yep. And Aviator could not afford the snail to go with his dragon turtle, which means an easy hold for Widdowson despite having 7 workers. Or maybe he just leaks the turtle, which is even better because they are saving their own Mythium.
Oh yeah.
King Dan's now having 69 Mythium. Very nice there for him. He is leaking a little bit here to the lizard from Burnt, but again, that's kind of in his favour because it's a very small leak, and meanwhile he's really stepping up the pressure on Aviator.
And you saw that Aviator pushed the 6 workers to no send? Which is the right call, because even if they go straight pipe, you're going to leak anyways, so...
Yeah. But let's see if I was wondering if Aviator would just full shift here and try to do something like an Orchid on 5, but he does not. He's feeling the pressure from King. He adds an Atom, and while that is obviously not a bad unit, it's not quite the same power level as if he did manage to reach Orchid.
Sure. Have to make that call because a player like King also knows that shifting for Orchid is definitely a play, and that he could leak it really hard with, Dino Snail or something.
Yeah, the mind games at this level of the game are just one of the most important aspects, right? Like, it's kind of a given that all 4 players in the game know how to build, they know how to push workers, they know what to send and when, and then it just becomes all about these mind games, like trying to bait out the sends.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is gonna be a 6 send.
Yeah, I think with
getting
a
mimic. Oh no.
It's Imps on 5 now. This is a bit of an old staple which we haven't actually seen for a while. An Aviator who did not shift for that
Julian
Orchid.
really not building Butcher?
I think Oathbreaker is better on wave 5.
Oh, on 5?
Yeah. I think what he is doing is the best option for him for this wave.
Now, Aviator, what are you doing? 150 gold. He goes with a Groll. He doesn't boost his Infiltrator, though.
Maybe thinking it's 6.
And those Imps are just going to destroy the tank value he added there with the Groll. This should be a pretty big leak. His Atom dies as well. It's not a Smurf Atom. That will be a big leak on Aviator. Burnt, how are you doing, my friend? It looks like pretty well is the answer, but I don't think he has enough firepower to full hold.
Yeah, and I think 2 brutes are going to the king.
He kills one of the brutes. Yeah, so there's 1 brute and 2 imps reaching the king. This will still be a ton of damage here on wave 5. They only have 2 king upgrades.
They're gonna have to try and figure out when they want as well. Maybe just that wave 8.
Yeah, wave 8 looks very promising. Widdowson clearly weak there with his AoE roll.
King yeah, maybe can get out.
Ooh, they just go for income on 6. Okay.
See?
Yeah, already down to 60% King HP, so if you're a King Dan's Widdowson fan, this is definitely the way that you want to see game number 4 starting. They have a pretty solid King HP lead, Jules giving them a 57% win chance.
Yeah. I mean, this resend is nice for Widdowson, he didn't push. So now he can get going.
Yeah, King Dan's will easily hold the 120 resend as well. He's very high value with a lifesteal Berserker on wave 6.
Yeah, I think Julian was hoping to catch another shift King here, but nothing to shift for in King's build, unfortunately. Maybe if he had the bunk.
Yeah, but this is just really juicy income send now for King Dan's and Widdowson. They really let off any pressure that they might have been building on the side of Aviator, and Burnt and King and Widow really can do whatever they want now with their Mythium.
See, Aviator has his double if he wants it, but maybe not here. Prepping 9? Maybe? Not sure what his plan is.
Yeah, I'm also kind of unsure. It's also kind of a weird build, like getting a doppel while you have 2 atoms and no tanks yet. I don't think
Very
he's
messy,
gonna
yeah.
go for it too soon.
Yeah, you're right, for sure.
And now King and Widdowson both having upwards of 160 Mythium. Let's see if they decide to go for a wave 8 send, or will they save even longer? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I was going to say a pack could actually be very, very good against both of their builds.
And here it is, a double pack leader on wave 8. So Aviator, he will be able to get that Orchid if he wants, which is very strong. You know, he can build the Orchid, he can boost it, it kills the pack leader pretty quickly. But Kingdowns, is he going to leak here to no send? I think he is.
Yeah, reading hard again.
What an absolute god.
Pack leader on 8. The good old classic. The good old forgotten classic.
I mean...
Aviator is also sending the classic versus AoE.
And Mole on 8.
The guy with the little hat.
Widdowson still hasn't used his reroll, so this Mole is looking pretty deadly against his build. He has 259
Chloral Pixie to kill the Mole.
Yeah, he's fine, right? But King's even boosting and hardening here, so he's feeling a bit of pressure. He's only receiving income from Burnt.
His build is quite weak here, so it's fair enough.
Aviator did not go for the Orchid, he actually went for a Doppelganger. I think the Orchid would have been maybe better here, but I'm not sure if it would have fit his gold as well.
Let's see. Pretty big set.
He kind of has no tanks for his doppel. So.
Exactly, yeah. The doppel's going to go down fairly quickly. It is on the back line, so clearly it destroys the wave 8 creeps very, very quickly, but now the pack leader's on it, and the doppel doesn't even kill the pack leader. My gosh, that's 102% leak for Aviator with a doppelganger.
For both of them.
And Burnt doesn't kill his own pack leader either. 105% leak over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, if he builds Orchid, Steed, and boosts the Orchid, he would perform there.
And Widdowson did very fine against the Mole send there. He kited the Mole to the right to let his AoE get onto the wave. And Aviator and Burnt, do they survive?
This is nearly...
My god.
2% HP there.
Easy.
Wave 8, by the way.
Well, they're dead if the wind blows the wrong way, so... I think King and Witter are just gonna chill with some Mythium and kill them. Maybe 11, maybe...
Yeah, at that point...
I don't know.
Yeah, at that point, you can just chill. Just wait. Even if you leak a little bit at some point, you can just finish them off.
This certainly feels like the most one-sided game of the entire series so far to me. Like King and Widdowson just putting on a masterclass here in game number 4.
Oh yeah,
this APS.
We've seen a lot of quite getting close to this starts where a team was ahead today, and then with one decision, everything turned around.
Yeah.
So this. I wouldn't say this is over yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were certainly behind in the previous game as well, but they managed to pull that one out of the bag. And
I think Witter's going to donate a shutdown here, even with the Avenger.
Yeah. There's quite a good chance for that to happen.
But King and Widdowson, they continue saving themselves meanwhile, so...
I mean,
the obvious answer is 11, right?
But I guess you could also go 13.
Yeah. Shutdown is nice, but it doesn't help you if you just die on the previous wave. Like, it's only 25 gold, right? Yeah, it's only 25 gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 13 is safer. But since I said that, they probably are going to go 11, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. 200 against Kingdowns, who's very low value again, by the way. Maybe Aviator's managed to catch him greeding this time, or Burnt.
Yeah, he doesn't have the beta. This is some nice damage, actually.
Yeah, Widdowson, as you say, he is leaking to the income and regen send from Aviator. Kingdowns leaks 55%, Widdowson leaks 24%, feed to 25 gold shutdown, and more importantly, perhaps, there's quite a lot of king damage dealt here.
Yeah, it's very nice. And there's good defensive spells, no offensive spells.
Yeah.
not to say that things are looking up, but things aren't exactly looking worse.
There's a very significant amount of Mythium in the hands of King Dans and Widdowson, both staring down the barrel of 350 plus Mythium each. They pick up Hero for King with those white main Hero gates. I definitely expect to see Hero for Aviator and Burnt as well, although Guardian Angel on the Lifesteal Doppel is pretty sweet too.
Zach for Aviator. He's very scared about here. I think he sacked his Atom, actually.
Yeah, he did. He sacrificed.
Yeah.
Oh, he also just manually sacked an Atom as well.
Yeah,
And he's boosting.
I mean, it's pretty useless in this build, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's just going to be 13.
Yeah. Yeah, as you have already called previously, and which I agreed with, so we didn't curse it. Unless...
Is this another donation from Witterson?
Another charitable donation? Yeah, the Fire Elemental died.
What a nice guy.
It looks like another shutdown indeed. Still only 25.
Yeah, he wants to make it close and entertaining.
Here he comes on wave 12.
Wow, we jinxed it, Offma.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, the sends are absolutely huge. I do think Julian has a chance to hold if he reads this correctly and builds for wave 12.
Dark Mage is a good start. Maybe 2 Antlers?
We have a full boost on Aviator, so they are expecting a send here. Please don't shift gold.
There's nothing to shift for, so... Oh, well, the Chieftain is not it, I think. Well, I mean, maybe if it wraps onto the... Buy some time for the Doppel,
okay,
possibly?
I mean, the sends are just absolutely enormous. 600 against Aviator, 620 against Burnt. Both of them pretty high value, but... Yeah,
not quite tanking as much as you'd like.
Not tanking as much as you'd like. The Doppelganger now taking the focus of the wave and the 4 Eyes, so it's not going to be able to get unlimited lifesteal value. Aviator leaking 101%, Burnt leaking as well. I don't think the 18% King is able to survive this send.
And we have a game 5 on our hands.
We have a game 5 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Abrasiat absolutely stomping game number 4.
Following the script, you know? Delivering us the game 5.
Yeah, I think you pronounce the name.
Sorry, I need to whisper more. Abrasiat.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how King would say it.
Yeah. I mean, King Dans and Widdowson just destroyed their opponents this game. Look at this wave 5 send, already taking off 41% of their King HP. Straight into wave 8 with this devastating pack leader send that Aviator and Burnt just very much not prepared for. And then the victory, wave 12. King Dans and Widdowson just a clear lead from start to finish, it feels like.
Oh yeah, they absolutely schooled them in this one. But I don't know, like pack leader and 8, it's just such an ancient play. No one thinks of that anymore, right? Like, Penny, you're old enough to remember the times. Offma is still a youngling, not having seen the...
I remember the dark days where pack leaders were sent every wave 8. Like,
it was actually a meta where this happened pretty much every single game against every single build.
It was an interesting one for sure. But I absolutely need to get myself a little drink of water before we get into game number 5, because my voice is on the verge of giving up. So
go ahead.
Let me pop up the plushie video for 1 minute, guys. Exclamation point plushie in the chat. We will be right back in a minute or two with game number 5, the all-important grand final deciding match. So see you in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
See you guys.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mole, for keeping the chat entertained. I am back. Hopefully we have a lobby available. It looks like we do. So let us hop into there. And the all-important, everything to play for, game number 5, should be here very shortly. And it looks like the players are taking the opportunity for a quick break as well. At least Mr. Widdowson, everybody else is here.
Yeah, Julian opted out for a quick be right back as well.
That seems reasonable. The players have, of course, been playing some pretty heated games so far. I mean, on the back of the previous performance, it just seems like Kingdans and Widdowson are leagues ahead of their opposition, but we know that Burnt and Aviator can give them a run for their money. They were in the lead, of course, twice already in this series. So, what do you guys think? Like, is this going to be a bit of a reverse sweep for Kingdans and Widdowson, or will Burnt and Aviator have what it takes to be our October champions?
Well, it's a tight series so far, so in my opinion, it could go either way.
Yeah, for sure.
I got no clue.
Yeah, both teams have shown they're capable of taking games off the other team.
Yep.
Like, Julian has proven that he actually is carryable by Aviator.
Yeah, he's not too heavy. Like, he maybe shed a couple of pounds before the series, you know. Aviator's got a strong back, don't get me wrong. He's pretty good at carrying things, but Burnt, he probably needed to lose a little bit of weight before the series to perform as well as he has. So, fair play to the guys for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Twitch chat, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Here it comes, the all-important deciding game number 5, Abrasiate versus Pi Squared over 6. Let's go.
Aviator still has his greed. I nearly forgot. Oh, and so does Julian. The rare greed pick from Julian.
Wow, he probably feels disgusted in himself, by the way, for having to pick greed. If I know Julian well, he wishes he could play almost anything else.
King has a pretty strong YOLO roll. Little Nightmare Canopy action. And Witter's got his favorite Crusher Angler start.
Yeah.
Or his AoE roll that he played last.
Kingdans with an interesting YOLO roll there, going for a Nightmare opener. He could also growl into Bunk if that's what he wants, but that's probably a bit too slow for his tastes.
Yeah, I just saw the Legion spells. It doesn't look like anyone has a particularly good roll to take advantage. Maybe Aviator with the gates. But no one has a great Sorcerer target. I mean, there's the Halo and potentially the Death Cap, but nothing quite like the Trinity.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Haven too. I wasn't at that.
Good luck, have fun coming out from the players.
And it is a AoE roll from Julian. Flower Harpy, Aviator, Green Devil Consort opener.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, pretty solid openers overall.
Widdowson on the Flower Angler, which is a very strong opener, actually. It's easy 6 workers. Is it even 7 and still getting your Bounty Hunter on 4? I'm not quite sure.
It's 7 if you like.
Yeah, if you are in the business of pushing workers. Which not everyone is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, Aviator adding the Buzz here on 2. Just trying to hold in case of a snail resend from Widdowson.
I don't imagine we'll see anything like that.
It doesn't
Probably
look like it.
just
He's
four?
saving his Mythium. Alright. So Julian with the Harpy now looking pretty solid. He will still need to add on 3, of course. It's not quite the same power level as, say, Flower and Atom or something like that, where you can quite comfortably, or Flower and Aqua, sorry, where you can quite comfortably go 7 workers and not fear any send on 3. He will have to stay a bit more conservative.
Yeah, Widdowson's not pushing. I'm kind of surprised by that.
He's on 6 workers, but yeah, he doesn't want to go up to 7, it seems. And Burnt, oh, he has the seeds to go with his Flower. Ooh. This is just some obscene AoE damage. Like, just watch how fast this wave 3 just
he's shifting
melts.
for the Sky Queen. I like it. Yeah,
he's shifting for the Sky Queen. He probably will just push once he sees this send coming from King.
I'm not sure. It's Julian after all.
Yeah.
Like, might just still get it, like, just in case.
It looks like he's still going to get it, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. I called it.
Did you see what happened to the hoppers in Burnt's lane, by the way? Because I blinked and I missed it.
Yeah, they kind of got deleted. I mean, I'm actually very impressed by this 5-worker Flower opener.
Yeah.
You rarely see it. But Julian is a guy to actually pull it off.
He's doing very, very well. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. Kind of participation medal level proud. Alright. And there is the Sky Queen.
And there is no resend from King Dan, so Julian's going to be pretty hard punished for staying such high value.
On the plus side, he does have some Mythium to send Widdowson next.
He does.
That's true.
Or whenever he chooses, I guess. But I don't imagine he wants to play 11 income for much longer.
Yeah. It's also like his build would have been slightly ugly if he pushed. You gotta give him that. Like, you kind of have to add another Flower, which is not really what you want to do.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And it looks like we're going back to that Julian trying to enable Aviator kind of gameplay, right? So Widdowson's feeling pressured, he's income sending a lot, but having said that, Aviator actually is leaking and not too small to this 60 income resend from Widdowson.
Yeah, it was quite a greedy push by him.
Yeah, I'm guessing the DT just went on the consort.
Which it never should. But I think you just don't hold the 60 here, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. It's 300 value or so.
And Burnt is still not sending here on wave 5, by the way, so I wonder if it's just going to be a massive wave 6 end, or if he even just goes full try-hard wave 8.
Wave 8 is kind of risky against Bounty, because there's always chances of pin.
Yeah,
especially with the Growl. Oh, Widdowson doesn't have a Growl. I thought he did. Did he re-roll? No.
Yeah, but by that time,
roll.
By that time, you often don't have to shift like a lot to get it.
Yeah.
Good read from King. Income King knows that Julian is low workers.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it on wave 4, right?
Yeah.
That no workers have been pushed.
And the Seedlings did the same thing to wave 5 they did to wave number 3, so Burnt easily clearing that up, but he only pushes to 6, so is he just going to save longer still?
Yeah, I mean, Aviator got all the workies he needs.
Yeah. Aviator's pushing workers for both of them, it seems. Holy moly. Julian's trying so hard in this game.
He wants it. What is Widder gonna do with this money? He snailed, but I'm not sure what he wanted the gold for.
Oh, he wanted it for that Berserker, which he knew that he would reroll.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Obviously. But there's no way that Widdowson can reach the Kingpin on 7 now, right? So, isn't he just
He has the casket, at least.
He doesn't have the casket.
That combined with the aqua and the flower might just be enough AoE.
Yeah.
Depending on what Julian sends. If Julian goes for Mole Hermit, it could be a bit rough.
This really has to pay off for Julian now. He's really all in with this Stark play. And it's an Ogre on Wave 7. I mean, it is Aviator, it is Wave 7, it is an Ogre.
That's huge.
Doesn't King just hold whatever gets set?
I mean, Aviator's just going for a Lizard Army, so yeah, King should be completely fine. That is a banana bunk there for King Downs, who's over value. Widdowson, though, should go for a bit of a leak, I think.
Yeah, I guess his plan is to try and just kill everything that isn't the Ogre.
Yeah.
Which is reasonable, considering he's playing
plan,
AoE.
for sure, yeah. Widdowson has 910 value. It is currently Wave 7. Let's see if value is enough. He's only minus 30, by the way.
And Aviator's doing a good job taking advantage of the starve. He's 12 workers.
Let's have a look at this Ogre Smash. Those units of Widdowson's going down like paper. And the Ogre now onto the Rogue Wave. That goes down in short order. It's going to take a bit longer to kill the Berserker, of course. The Swift Armor tanking the Ogre nicely. He has killed the entire wave, in fact. Everything.
Pretty well for him.
That's probably not worth it.
That's probably not worth it. A 50% leak there. Only the Ogre slipping through the cracks of Widdowson. King Dan's obviously holding his own lane. And, of course, clearing the Ogre in the mid. So, yeah.
Yeah, not really worth it.
This was King up on 1 into Ogre on 7 from Burnt. And you have to think, like, if he pushed a few more workers earlier with that flower seedling power spike that he had on Wave 3 and 4, maybe we could have seen more damage dealt, but I don't know, it's risky as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, his hope is that Avi would be scaling harder, but King is almost keeping up with him, so not quite the advantage they wanted.
Yeah, but one thing I will say is that Widdowson is playing Cartel, and because of the pressure that Burnt applied in the early game, Widdowson's Wave 8 Cartel 75 income. So imagine what's going to happen to him once this game ticks past Wave 10. He's going to be really, really struggling.
Yeah, he might join Julian.
Yeah.
But at least the advantage there is that he would have the better sending order.
Yeah, true. So Julian has effectively taken himself and Widdowson out of the game, and now it becomes a question of who can carry hardest, King Dan's or Aviator.
Is Witter... Okay, Witter and King saving. Guess Witter got his pin, right?
Witter is 5 gold off his pin, so we'll need to sell a Bone Warrior.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of has...
He kind of has
to.
Right?
Like, there's nothing great he can build.
Meanwhile, King has 268 gold. What does he do with that? He has Gate. Widdowson actually sells the one in the split. Okay.
Just a gate, yeah.
Alright, so easy holds for King, and with it against the income King sends. And they do have a decent chunk of pressure now. 200 Mythium saved up on Widdowson.
I guess it's 11 then.
Yeah, looking at their builds, 11 is looking pretty nice.
Now we see that Aviator has this Lord of Death hidden away in his role, which is one of the better units you can have on Wave 11.
Yeah, I think he might see it and go Wanderers here, and then go for the LOD next.
Aviator's really selling out his teammate here, just going for income every wave. Julian going for a Growl now. He also goes for a Sky Queen, though. Oh, Julian's actually going to build Sky Queens in a Magician aura, it looks like.
Ooh.
Don't think that's a particularly strong combo, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he's scraping together something. Aviator with a good read, though. He's building a Violet here.
Yeah. Alright, King Down will be very happy to see this 100 income resend.
Probably
he
not,
may actually
right?
leak to it, but that's just... Oh, it's a shutdown if he does. I was going to say, it's only good for them if they do leak, but...
Ooh, maybe just enough time with the blobs and the gates and whatnot.
There's a Ghost Knight from Widdowson into Aviator. And
That is a tough cookie to kill. He has actually no pierce
Oh,
damage.
that's so close.
Yeah.
Ooh, double GK. GK versus 2 Sky Queens?
It's okay.
It's not bad. It buys time against the flower, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Magician
Magician.
Harpies. They should have moved the King Claw all the way down there, huh?
Yeah. Right, there's...
They have good King.
So
It's
Julian
kinda-
skipped income so that he could do full King upgrades with all of his 8 workers. And Aviator, of course, gets this Lord of Death and a couple of
My lord,
Wanderers.
his value is high.
Oh,
1800.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, that's gonna be hard. But yeah, the Ghost Knight, I think.
Ghost
Oh,
Knight is very
no.
good against it.
Because it gets reduced damage from auto attacks, and he's not expecting to see more Sky Queens. Like,
Egg
The
is
Sky
dead.
Queens are both just on the Ghost Knight and nothing else.
Wait,
Yeah.
but the
The
Ghost
Sky
Knight is...
Queens? Does it
Who
survive?
wins this?
I think it does
Oh,
just
he
go
got
down,
one.
but the second
He,
one
he
lives.
killed one that's actually pretty good.
And
Ghost
meanwhile,
Knight
if we
went on
look
a
at
mission.
Aviator's lane, okay, Burnt Leak's 98%, but that's only a Drake going through. And
I see it
Aviator,
decently too.
he's leaking as well. Actually, he does get another
Ooh,
summon,
got another spawn.
but it's
Nah, it
not.
doesn't make a difference.
They
But...
have got
Yeah,
full King
not really.
upgrades, though. So that's
Yeah,
something
this
to be
is
aware of.
reasonable.
The problem is, look at the
And-
workers.
Yeah, that that is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
huh?
that's kind of an issue. King Dance
And-
having more than double the workers of Julian.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be
In the
expected, but
investment?
it's more the gap between King and Aviator that I'm concerned about.
Yeah, true. True.
Well, they're pushing some more keys now.
Yeah.
Is this a 13 play from everyone?
It
Like-
probably should be, right? I mean, Widdowson's going to
Judging
full
by
shift
their
here.
values,
And he does have the best unit in the game. He has that Phoenix, so obviously the best unit on wave 13 and 15.
Yeah, he even prepped the egg to die as the Phoenix is split. Oh, never mind, he's just
actually
doing
building
another
an
egg.
here.
I'm
That's-
surprised he didn't try and hatch the egg last wave, or like, you know, keep his egg alive.
Yeah,
But
that seems super greedy to me that he built another egg here
Yeah.
because, but I mean,
See-
Burnt just has no workers, so I guess he can do whatever he wants.
yeah, I mean, I guess King probably told him he holds, so
Yeah.
they're not worried. Even if it's just to bait the send.
yeah, that just.
I
opens-
mean, they have successfully baited the send, so let's see if it
Yeah.
works.
I mean, he gets a Theta.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely gonna leak, but that opens them up for a good counterplay.
Yeah.
Like, they just keep the lithium, and if King Dance actually holds.
King Dance
See,
does not
that's-
hold. King Dance is going to leak
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah.
The bigger send.
I agree that he will.
Yeah, he
Well-
will do good enough, hopefully.
Yeah, if he does well, then they're kind of fine with this, I think.
Yeah. Then they look for what? Just 14 straight away, or?
It's,
Oh, look.
14, that sounds illegal. I mean, ideally, I think they want 16, even though there is a flower.
Yeah, that does
But-
look actually pretty good.
But I think it's too
Hmm?
far with how pushed they are.
I think this egg
These
was
leaks are
a
pretty big.
interesting play.
Widdowson not on
Yeah.
fire though, so that's only a 50 gold shutdown. But look at the workers now. King Dan's on 25, Widdowson on 20. Aviator's on 20 as well, but it's all about Burnt there on 13.
Does King need that many workers?
Oh,
they're
they-
just going 14. I mean, they just handed over a bunch of gold. I feel like this could be a turning point if there's
Yeah.
some magic hidden
Yeah,
in Aviator and Burns lands.
It might catch Aviator and Julian off guard. though,
Yeah, if he builds like
because-
Hades here.
Yeah,
They definitely
and
didn't
it's-
send for it, so
And it's an illegal move, as we all know, to send on the following wave. So
Of course.
let's see.
Julian
Have to
does
feel like-
build the Ocean Templar. He's adding some Badger value. Oh, he's actually selling all of his pixies, so he does read the 14 send. He makes a pretty big commitment there to get that Iron Scales out with the Ocean Templar.
Okay, I was like, Aviator's gonna spend this gold, right? Yeah, and he gets the Samurai Soul, which is pretty strong.
Julian's value is not too great, though.
No,
the sends are
pretty huge. So let's see if Aviator is able to carry here or not. Julian is almost certainly going to get run over. Sky Queens are doing a lot of damage, though, before he goes down. I have to say, they're doing pretty well. Aviator, meanwhile, his Sovereign just pops off.
But is it enough?
I don't know if he holds, but I think they survive, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
With their full king upgrade.
Aviator's holds pretty good.
And now, of course, they have the advantage once again. This is more of the back and forth games that we had early on in the series, where one team makes a send, the other team gets the lead, and vice versa. Which is exactly what we want to see in this match number 5.
That's Super Avenger doing its job on 14 here.
Probably needs another nerf. Alright. So Julian, with his 13 workers here, is doing better than he had in game number 1. I think he was still 10 workers on wave 16 back then. When does the send come, though? They are going to see the death cap now of Widdowson. He has rolled that away, however. So do you think Burnt and Aviator read that he's rolled it away, maybe go for a 16 send?
I'm doing a little bit of both, I guess. King is... They are fairly concerned about 15, which is fair. The values don't look great.
King looks pretty weak on 16, I think. Like, he has that one doppelganger, sure, but the rest of his units are pretty weak. I mean, 16.
It's 600 something myth and no lifesteal on the doppel. Like, a centaur could wreck his build.
Yeah. Let's see what Burnt and Aviator decide to do. Julian is full pushing, by the way, up to the giddy heights of 15 workers now. So this is a 16 play. Julian's going to suicide for it. Oh, he goes 16 workers. This is crazy.
17 even.
18. Julian, are you sure?
Oh, that's crazy. He's catching up.
But King and
He's overtaken Widdowson.
King and Widdowson, they read this play. They go for a full send of themselves, so they're going for a race. Aviator has 400 gold. What is his best hope to try and hold here? He rolled away the consort, unfortunately, so he goes for a Sovereign, good swift tank value, and the Hades certainly can deal damage.
A Magician, MPS Hades?
Aviator, please, can you build your last gargoyle? He does.
Wait, he's bringing the Centaur left. Oh wait, there's no Centaur. What am I talking about?
There is no Centaur. The Centaur is a lie. Alright, this is a pretty exciting race. This is exactly the way I want my game number 5 to end. Widdowson did go for a Phoenix reveal here on 16, but it died very quickly to the suicide push from Julian, who of course leaks 127%. It's all down to Aviator now. Can he hold long enough? The Sovereigns are popping off. He did get his Hades killed. Bam, bam, bam. Indeed, Widdowson is holding on for a very long time. But is it enough? No! Aviator's down!
Aviator leaked first.
Aviator leaked first, but they have full king upgrades. This is still super close.
This leaks are bigger.
Oh, lordy.
I think
this is
so close. Oh!
What?
Who won? I don't know who won.
I also don't. I think King and Winner won. This was such a great final. This is exactly how you would want it to go.
King and Widdowson, I think, are the winner.
Yes, King and Winner won. Incredible. What a finish. Can it be any closer than this?
I think it literally cannot be any closer than this.
Yeah, I also think it can't be any closer. I kind of feel bad for Julian and Aviator, to be honest.
Yeah.
It must feel pretty bad to lose a game like that.
Yeah.
But they really shouldn't, because
they played incredibly well. Like, game 4 was...
to make it this close.
Yeah, game 4 was rough for them, but game number 5 was just insane, and they... none of us knew who won. We have to double check like the sliver of HP left on King and Widdowson's King to see that they are the October Nova Cup champions. So congratulations to Team Appreciate. They are again are champions, and yeah, absolutely devastated for Burnt and Aviator. But like you say, Green, they cannot be ashamed of the way they've played today. This has been a very, very good showing from both teams.
Yeah, and very unlucky. Aviator's Hades, his first dragon, got sniped from the Wanderer. Like, it respawned, dragged everything low enough that it went wrapped onto his Hades, which is his like main damage source.
Yeah,
It was a bit unlucky.
As soon as his Hades went down, he was a little bit doomed, right? Because, like you say, that's his primary source of damage. And a bit of a weird one, because he doesn't have any range units in his split that would cause that to happen, so it must just have been... The Thanatos must have gone on a journey over to the right side of the lane and then pulled the creeps down.
Ooh, yeah, that's not nice. I think if that didn't happen, he had a good chance
to either leak smaller, hold a bit longer.
Yeah, that might have been the difference.
But that's Legion, right?
That's Legion. Let me see if I can get a winners interview with King and Widdowson, who I think are the winners of the October Moment Cup. Man. A good read there for Burnt to at least make an attempt with the suicide play into 16, and it was nearly enough. It was nearly enough.
And like the surprise Phoenix too.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how they get you.
I have confirmation from King and Widdowson. They are going to join us for a quick chat. So guys, if you want to make a journey down to Game Room 1, we will have a talk with our October champions, King Dams and Widdowson. Let's go. Guys, all I can say is just wow. Like, what an insane finish to this 5-game series.
God.
We didn't know who won. We did not know who won. We had to like double check the post-game screen to see that you guys still had 1% on your king. That was unreal.
Yeah.
Absolutely unreal.
How much did you shit your pants there?
What the fuck? My heart is still racing. Like, oh my god. I think this was the craziest Legion moment we ever had.
I think this was certainly one of the craziest series in general. Like, and what a way for it to end.
Yeah.
Can you get any closer than a 5-game series ending in a king race where nobody knows who the winner is because it's just there's no difference between the two teams? Insane, absolutely insane. And what a series!
We actually had to check on the scoreboard to see who won.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I assumed that you guys won because you were green for me and it said victory, but I wasn't sure.
I genuinely was not sure. And a good play there from Julian to suicide into you, Widdowson, at the end of the game there. Like,
I just saw he was lacking the decision making a bit. At first he didn't push because he probably wanted to hold with the flowers, and then he switched his decision.
Yeah, he even slightly outpushed you after suiciding. We all were pretty impressed.
Yeah. I think you're right. Like, if he'd committed to the suicide already at the start of Wave 15, well, these guys probably take the crown. But they certainly can't beat themselves up because this has been a hell of a series. Like, so much back and forth between you two.
Absolutely.
What a fun series to watch.
Yeah, it has been very interesting. Like, all the games were pretty action-packed. Like the 11 AOA set that caught you guys off guard.
Yeah,
very interesting place all over the place. Such a finish. I really enjoyed casting it.
I have to say, King Dens, what are you doing with 1100 value on Wave 11?
I tried to go for a little pro league.
Yeah, you managed it. You certainly managed it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bigger pro league, maybe.
Yeah,
but don't you like also leak not little to no set?
I don't know. I have a bunk and 2 gates. I think it's not too bad. But also, like, it doesn't matter how much I leak. All that matters is that we leak, because on 12 you win anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. On 12,
I think there was some I think there was some really nice mind games going on in that game, actually, because a couple of times in that particular game, you were getting away with some unreal greed with like 600 value on wave 8, leaking to a Dino King up there. And then again on wave 9, you were super low value, and Aviator's just income sending you. And then all of a sudden he switches it up.
Yeah.
Like, you were probably expecting income again, maybe, or income king or something like this, and they're trying to overbuild and hold your send. But Aviator just switches gear, goes for this post-income 4-eye send, and obviously they took that game home. So a really nice call from Aviator and Burnt to mix it up there with the 4-eyes in that game.
Yeah, that was crazy. And we were not in one opinion with our calls. King wanted to venture and just play it safe, which would have been, looking back at it, the better play. And I told him, no, let's take all out and go 12, because I would never expect that 11 cent.
Yeah. It's an interesting one for sure. And maybe they were trying to punish your venture. I think they were never trying to punish your staying on 1100 value, all-out assault, trying to leap the wave and win on wave 12 thing. I don't think they would have predicted that.
I mean, you think so?
I thought they were trying to catch Venture, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, maybe. I felt like they maybe realized that they definitely lose on 12. Like they never survive 12.
Yeah.
So it's their only out.
Yeah, that's a reasonable call as well, I think. Remembering back, that was they certainly looked weak on 12. I think they had some Azeria and Millennium or something like that. So yeah, that's a good call as well, Green. But I mean, guys, like you've got to be absolutely over the moon after winning a series like that. How are you guys feeling right now?
Insane. Like, I was just screaming, "What the fuck?" for one straight minute after the win. It was so crazy.
Yeah, you guys also seem like you're still in shock and waiting for reality to set in.
Yeah.
Which
well,
is
King
quite
Dance, obviously,
reasonable.
it's just another day in the office for King Dance. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw that Aviato was writing that he full holds 16 in sandbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his Hades got sniped by his
Yeah.
Wanderer, like randomly in the game.
Yeah, but maybe that makes him feel better. I also hold on 16 in sandbox.
Of course.
Yeah, because
I just tried
your Phoenix got speed run down, didn't it?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
ran it down. He ran it down.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, the Hades spawned the Thanatos, which kind of lured the split and killed his Hades.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was the thinking behind your egg on 12? You just wanted them to send 13?
I thought Julian was kind of out of the game with low Verkas. I saw King has a good amount of gates and stuff. So I thought we would hold fairly well with my Fatalizer and his gates on 13. And I'm pretty sure they also changed the decision. They didn't plan to go 13, but they saw the egg, so they did. And somebody just got 2 imps and a snail or something. It was a really small send. I didn't expect that we get fucked by it so hard.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Reasonable. Man, I mean, just what a series. All of the games were so back and forth. Apart from that game 4, like, you guys kind of stomped that one. And I was a bit worried for you guys, you know, like Aviator and Burnt, they were 2-1 ahead after game 3. And they're a very solid opponent, clearly, both very skilled players. And then you guys, just game number 4, like, you just were on a different level, it felt like. You absolutely destroyed them, like, start to finish. Just never gave them a moment to breathe.
Yeah. What was the question?
Never mind.
I have a question if you like. It's more about the mastermind options you guys are picking. I saw that you guys value cartel like fairly highly, it seems. Like, could you just explain a little bit more what you're thinking?
Well, I think we mostly took it because it was like mostly offensive spells, I think. It was like all out and one more offensive spell. So we just wanted to have like the best early game possible. I think, or that was the first time we picked Cartel, I think.
Yeah, the first time it was Overwork, AOA, and GA. I think. Let me check.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And King, I have to ask, in game 2 as well, by the way, when you picked Chaos, did you do that because Julian was sending into you and you wanted to tilt him?
No, I did it because there was only late game spells, so Wither took Castle and I just took Chaos because it's also very good in late game.
Ah, okay, that's quite an interesting...
Really
yeah, that is an interesting way to play it. You also, it wasn't obvious that you were Chaos either, like you only had 4 different units shown by wave 10 or 11, so it could have just been a YOLO or something like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We also had to adapt the spells a little bit. For example, against Shay and X-God, we realized that it's really important to have offensive mastermind options in the early game as well, because they always go cash out, cartel, fiesta, something like that. Yep. And that already caught us off guard in some finals. I remember a little bit. And yeah, so against them I would never pick Castle. But since we know that Aviator likes to play income heavy in the early game, we can get away with Castle and some more scaling options.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that game you guys had a really nice play to cred as well. Like one person creds, one other person holds.
Yeah, Widdowson, your that game where you took Creditor despite being saved on already from wave 8, that was really next level stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
that's a King Dance call. That's a King Dance call.
That's when I said you clearly know your enemies. That they're
we know that Aviator likes to save forever, so we expected 13.
Yeah, I like that call. That was a good read on who you're playing against.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just been a really good example of 2 very, very top-level teams playing off each other very, very well, making good reads all the time. Both of you, like Aviator and Burnt, made their fair share of good reads as well. And it's just been really, really interesting to watch. So massive congratulations to all 4 players.
Thank you. That's just the most fun part about the game. If the game is not decided by silly mistakes, but if everybody plays on such a high level that the mind games are what decide the games.
Yeah, that's when Legion becomes really beautiful, right?
You guys even had great recoveries. Like you started a game getting double snailed on 5 workers openers. Brought it back.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
all right. Guys, I think we are coming to an end of our October Nova Cup stream. So once again, massive congratulations to King Dans and Widdowson. Big thank yous going out to my lovely co-casters, GreenSpirit and Offma. And of course, big thank yous to all of the tournament organisers and Auto Attack Games, without whom none of this would be possible. Before I end the stream, have we got any more questions from Green and Offma?
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a mask and nothing else.
Okay, thank you. That answer was about as good as I expected.
Yeah. Offma, any last words?
No, just thanks to everyone for this great tournament. Really enjoyed watching and playing. Had a lot of fun.
Boo-da-doo, mother truckers. All right, in that case, Widdowson, King Dans, would you like to say final words before I end the stream?
I think this was, I think it was a great tournament, even though we had some struggles in the beginning, because we almost lost in the very first match. But other than that, it was great games.
Thanks for casting, guys.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
You're very welcome. When you guys put on a show like this, it's a privilege to cast. So, yeah, amazing games. All right, guys, that's all we have time for this month. Congratulations once again, King Dans and Widdowson. Commiserations are very worthy runners-up, Aviator and Burnt Das Brot. We will see you guys in November for the next Nova Cup. Goodbye.
Goodbye.